just so happened to be the strongest of all of the Saiyans. Looks like they actually planned something. What a bunch of wimps. You really know how to piss me off. How dare you mock the mighty Vegeta! You're no match for me, right?
Alright guys, let's try to get this W.
Can you hear me?
Flying Nimbus!
Trunks, I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots. You found a power key. Go slot it.
I'm out of there.
Ally down.
Shit, someone got
You
busted.
intend to rescue them. Watch out for enemies. That's a new power key.
So
Place
annoying.
it now.
Bet you're pretty tough, don't you?
If anything, we're gonna have to jump Vegeta.
There's no way a small fry like you stands a chance against the mighty Nappa! Flying Nimbus! Ha! What a stupid attack! Ha! What a stupid attack!
You're my savior.
It's back. We gotta find that C and D key because they're most annoying to find.
This is great! Flying Nimbus! Let me see you suffer!
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
This is great!
Why do we still have a level 0?
Stupid attack!
Close to level 3. Lost my dragon change.
What a bunch of wimps.
Fucking annoying, bro. We're getting stream sniped.
Flying Nimbus! Oh, where did all that bravado go? Trying to figure out how to escape. Copy that? What a bunch of wimps.
I have one level 3, that's myself. And that C and D key is annoying.
You're no match for me. I just so happen to be the strongest of all of the Saiyans.
Check underwater.
Holy hell.
Piece of shit.
Let's go! Actually planned something. Kick on. Oh, where did all that bravado go? Trying to figure out how to escape. You bastard! Looks like you used up all your power with that one, huh?
This is my teammate. Doing absolutely nothing.
I owe you one. Flying Nimbus! Where am I? Oh man.
If he gets his grade 8 form, the game's basically over, so I don't know why we're not jumping in right now.
Lie down. If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies. That's a new power key. Place it now.
You really know how to piss me off. You're no match for me. I just so happen to be the strongest of all of the Saiyans.
So is anyone gonna summon?
Flying Nimbus! Oh, where did all that bravado go?
Hey, great. You found another power key. Use it quick.
I got kicked from the server. Waste.
Taser, but are subdued again in an alleyway. This display is enough for Goku. He leaps into action, knocking the officers aside with a power pole, giving the masked figure a chance to escape. Goku continues creating distractions, flipping objects and using his speed to outmaneuver his pursuers. As officers fire at him with their magic canes, Goku deftly avoids the shots, taking out some of the officers before reflecting some blasts back with his staff. Before long, Goku single-handedly incapacitates the entire squad, noting he may have gone too far. Escaping the town with Glorio and Shin, Goku has now become a fugitive. Suddenly, the masked figure, perched on a rock above them, demands to know who they are. She removes her mask, revealing herself to be a young demon girl. The young girl eyes Goku skeptically, questioning how someone who looks like a kid could possibly be so strong. Goku, unfazed, simply responds that he trained. Before she can press further, she suddenly notices his round ears and grows curious about his race. Goku explains that he's a Saiyan, but as she continues to inquire, Glorio quickly cuts in, claiming Goku is from the second demon world. Despite her earlier blunder in the village, blaming her Wasabi Bomb's failure on damp gunpowder, Shin and Goku are still impressed by the girl's boldness and tenacity. Glorio is eager to move on, but she persists, demanding to know where they're headed. Goku, inadvertently spilling details, mentions their destination is the castle. The girl immediately recognizes Kadan Castle and seems intrigued by their journey, deciding to tag along since she knows the way. Glorio, however, is adamant she stay behind. Meanwhile, back in the village, the military force begins regaining consciousness, furious about being bested. One soldier questions the brat's identification collar, but another admits they didn't get a clear look in the chaos. The new directive? Hunt down a spiky-haired kid wielding a red staff. As the group continue, the girl, still following along, offers Goku a rice ball, noticing he's still hungry. Shin finally inquires her name, and she reveals it to be Pansy. Goku bluntly states that it's a weird name, to which Pansy retorts that his name is even weirder. Goku casually shares that his other name is Kakarot, prompting Pansy to conclude that both names are bizarre. She then shifts the conversation, asking what kind of magic Goku specializes in, since every Majin can use at least one spell. After thinking for a moment, Goku proudly demonstrates his ability to touch his nose with his tongue. Unimpressed, Pansy focuses intently and showcases her own skill, struggling mightily to lift a small rock with magic. Exhausted, she admits that her true talent lies in tinkering with machines. As a dragon soars overhead, Pansy grows even more curious about the group. When Shin introduces himself, she immediately recognizes him as a Glend. She nonchalantly mentions that Goma's second in command, Degesu, is also a Glend, much like Shin. Shin shrugs it off as Pansy continues, recounting how the Glends left for the outside world long ago, though some still remain. She then questions why someone like him is in the third demon world in the first place. Shin vaguely replies that he's just traveling, but Pansy finds it suspicious. Few outsiders ever visit this place unless they have a purpose. Glorio abruptly ends the conversation, but Pansy persists, now wanting to know his name. Glorio, however, remains silent. Goku, still misremembering, chimes in with the wrong name again, but Glorio corrects him. Eventually, they reach a fork in the road, and Pansy persuades them to take a shortcut through a rocky terrain. Along the way, Shin brings up the military force's ruthless practice of siphoning life from those who can't pay. Pansy laments on how cruel it is to steal up to 9 years from someone's lifespan, and acknowledges that while Dabura was bad, he was still better than Goma. The average lifespan in a demon realm is only about 1,000 years after all. Goku wonders if that's really a short lifespan, then casually questions Pansy on how old she is. She's 82, making her older than him. After navigating cliffs, chasms, and desolate landscapes, the group finally arrives at Kadan Castle. Goku is unimpressed by its appearance, calling it underwhelming. Pansy, insulted, defends it as impressive, by third demon world standards at least. Shin inquires about the king, to which Glorio describes him as an uncivilized mafia boss. Pansy, however, protests, insisting he isn't that bad. He only steals from criminals and punishes the truly wicked. Glorio is ready to negotiate for an airplane, while Goku remains focused on rescuing Dende. Elsewhere, in the first demon world, a strange demon caretaker half-heartedly reads to baby Dende. Goma enters and orders her to try again, this time with emotion. After all, this little Namekian is vital to their plans, as he will one day create new Dragon Balls for them. With this, the caretaker hastily improves her performance. Back at Kadan's castle, Glorio and the group approaches the entrance. The guards, seemingly having forgotten Glorio's visit the day before, questions his return. The guards then eye his companions with suspicion, prompting Pansy to step forward. Instantly, their demeanor changes. It's the princess, much to the group's surprise. Welcoming her home, the guards let them through. As they walk inside, Shin points out that Pansy could have mentioned her royal status earlier. Goku remains unconvinced, remarking that she doesn't seem like a princess. As they make their way deeper into the castle, they pass through various demons engaged in different tasks: gardening, cooking, and training. Finally, Pansy knocks on a grand door, announcing that her father's guests have arrived. A massive demon brandishing a spiked club swings it down with explosive force, marking a dramatic entrance. King Kadan strides into the room, settles into his throne, and immediately questions Glorio, noting he was supposed to bring someone strong enough to defeat Majin Buu. Glorio gestures to his companions, confirming that these are the ones. The king, however, scoffs as they're just kids. Shin himself acknowledges that while he himself is not as strong as Goku, he's merely accompanying him. Pansy interjects, vouching for Goku's strength, recalling how he single-handedly took down the military force and even saved her. Grateful, the king thanks them. When Pansy questions if her father personally requested Goku's presence, it becomes clear that Glorio had actually approached the king, claiming he could bring an outsider capable of defeating Goma. Hearing this, Shin shoots Glorio another suspicious look. Pansy finally connects the dots. Goku's round ears means he's really from the outside world. She still struggles to wrap her head around how someone from beyond the demon realm can be so strong and fly so effortlessly. Goku once again credits his strength to his training. Shin formally addresses King Kadan, asking if he truly wants Goma eliminated. The king confirms, Goma is a menace, unfit to be Supreme Demon King. Once he's defeated, Kadan himself will assume the throne, ensuring peace for the demon realm. Then, unexpectedly, he adds that Pansy will marry Goku if all goes as planned. Pansy immediately protests, exclaiming that's not his decision to make. The king clarifies that he didn't mean now, but when she grows up. Goku nonchalantly states that he's already married and has kids, shocking both Pansy and Kadan, who can't believe he's an adult. Shin, however, explains that Goma transformed them into children. To return to normal, they must either rescue Dende, whom Goma kidnapped, or gather the Demon Realm's Dragon Balls. This revelation surprises the king. No one has ever collected all 3 Dragon Balls, and even Goma himself failed against the Tamagami, their guardians.
I wanted to stream a little earlier today to see if we can find better cues, better matches, but
ponders, if
it's not looking good right now.
defeated Majin Buu, maybe they have a shot. Before they can borrow a plane though, Kadan demands proof of Goku's strength. He presents his courtyard's warriors, offering them a raise if they can defeat the small challenger. Shin warns Goku that these are experienced fighters, and his smaller form is a disadvantage. Goku, however, shrugs it off, noting that this will be good training. As the battle begins, Goku swiftly outmaneuvers his opponents with leg sweeps, jumps, and precise strikes, rendering weapons useless. When multiple warriors attempt to restrain him, he smirks and briefly transforms into a Super Saiyan, effortlessly blasting them away. As the last fighter swings a sword at him, Goku vanishes, appearing behind him and flicking his forehead. The others are in turn incapacitated, and the forces surrender. Shock fills the courtyard, Glorio included. Impressed, King Kadan orders an airplane to be prepared for the group, apologizing that it's the best he can offer. One of his workers finalizes adjustments, noting that since it's a different plane, Sir Warp won't accept the old pin. To bypass the issue, they've tweaked its data. Shin also inquires about his allies arriving soon who lack a pin, and wonders if something can be done. Though he initially considers the matter troublesome, King Kadan assigns the task to a small, twirling demon named Hybis. Midway through ballet lessons, Hybis reluctantly agrees, informed by Shin that their allies are located on planet Earth in Universe 7. Using a device, Hybis locates Earth's floating temple and prepares for departure. Meanwhile, Pansy loads up her belongings as she's coming along too. She wants to see Goma's fall and is skilled with machinery, so her presence is needed. Goku checks with Glorio, who admits he's no mechanic, so Pansy is officially on board. Goku promises to protect Pansy, and the two have a friendly moment. Before departing, Shin pulls Goku aside, expressing doubt about Glorio. His story doesn't add up as he noted he was requested by the king, but Glorio instead approached the king. Goku, unconcerned, brushes it off as the group prepare for departure. Glorio estimates 4 days to reach the 3rd Demon World's Dragon Ball, but just as Goku dreads the long wait, the plane's engine sputters as they're carrying too much luggage. With a loud pop, the plane plummets toward the ground. As the dust settles, Shin questions what exactly had they been carrying that was so heavy. Pansy states that it was all for emergencies: repair tools, camping gear, medical supplies, towels, and toilet paper, though maybe in hindsight they went a little overboard. As she helps assess the damage, Pansy recalls how Goku had called the other guy something like Kai back at the castle, and questions what that means. Shin and Goku explain that in their universe, there are tons of godlike beings known as Kai, and above them stands Shin himself. Pansy, impressed by the vastness of the universe, affirms that leaving the demon realm was the right decision and casually inquires whether Shin makes good money. Shin, however, confirms that he doesn't profit. Just then, Goku's stomach begins to rumble. Seeking attention, he mistakenly calls out to Glorio using the wrong name again. Annoyed, Glorio assumes Goku is doing this on purpose, though that doesn't seem to be the case. Regardless, Goku announces that he needs to poop. Pansy questions why he didn't just go back at the castle, but Goku insists it came on suddenly. Before heading off, he questions if Pansy has any toilet paper. In response, she smacks him in the face with a roll, and he wanders off to take care of business. Pansy once again questions if Goku is really as strong as they claim, prompting Shin's confirmation that he's the strongest in the universe. Suddenly, a military ship appears in the
so
sky,
hard to find
quickly
two
spotting
players,
the
bro.
group below. As they land, Glorio warns Shin and Pansy to avoid any
That's one thing I don't
conflict.
understand
The
about this
military
game. It
notices
takes
that
so
two
long
members
to
of the
find
group
7
aren't
people.
wearing collars and immediately questions their origins. Glorio states that he's from the first demon world, while Shin claims to be from the second. Meanwhile, Pansy begrudgingly displays her collar for scanning. The military questions what 3 people from different worlds are doing together, and Shin explains that they're traveling and enlisted Pansy as their guide. The story is a little strange, but before pressing further, the soldiers question if the group have seen a spiky-haired kid with a red staff. Apparently, he's worth 10 gold coins. Glorio denies coming across this person, and with that, the military ship departs. Right on cue, Goku emerges from behind a large plant, having finished his business. Shin suggests that he try pinning his hair down to disguise himself, but Goku insists it's too stubborn for that. With the danger past, the group resumes their journey. Pansy
Alright,
picks
now
up
we're
where she
7
left
out of 8.
off, asking about glins and whether they're truly born from trees. Shin confirms this, explaining
need
that a
one more.
Glind is born only once every few centuries from the Glind tree. Goku, pondering this revelation, wonders if that means Glinds are like plants and whether that's why they don't eat solid food, surviving on liquids instead. Following this train of thought, Pansy assumes that Goma's second
Honestly,
in command,
for me, it takes like 5 to
Degesu,
10 minutes to
must
find a
be
match.
Shin's brother. Shin affirms this. Both he and Degesu were born from the same tree, though many years apart, as Shin was already 216 at the time. Goku, trying to piece it all together, questions if that means all Glinds, including Kibito and Elder Kai, are brothers. However, Shin clarifies that this isn't the case since there are actually 5 Glind trees. Pansy, still full of questions, wonders why Degesu chose to remain in the demon realm instead of leaving like the others. Shin explains that Degesu is highly ambitious and never got along with other Glinds. As the conversation continues, Pansy shifts focus to a brilliant Glind scientist. Shin identifies her as Arinsu, his older sister, though he notes that Glinds don't technically have genders, they aren't really male or female. He describes Arinsu as a highly ambitious mad scientist who was drawn to the excitement of the demon realm rather than leaving it behind. Goku, observing the pattern, jokes that all of Shin's siblings seem to be a handful. Glorio narrows his eyes slightly, listening in, and the group continues their flight over the mountain range. Goku takes notice of how the demon world remains somewhat illuminated even at night, prompting Pansy to explain that the third demon world has 2 suns, responsible for the lingering light. Meanwhile, Pansy offers to take over piloting, but Glorio declines, suggesting they should take the opportunity to rest instead, as they should eat and sleep while they can. With no hotels in sight, he decides they'll take shelter in a cave for the night. However, Pansy quickly realizes that their camping gear was left behind at the crash site. Goku, unfazed, shrugs it off, saying they can skip a shower, as he does it all the time. Soon gathered around a fire inside the cave, the group settles for canned food, though Shin finds it rather unappetizing. Before long, Goku dozes off while the others continue their conversation. They discuss Glorio's origins. Despite claiming to be from the first demon world, he looks more like someone from the third. He, however, admits he was hired by someone there and lives in the first. When questioned who exactly hired him, he skillfully avoids giving a direct answer. Shin presses further, questioning why Glorio wants to defeat King Goma. The response is simple. King Goma is an evil tyrant who brings suffering to all Majin. Glorio, it seems, has a strong sense of justice, and the conversation comes to an end. As the rest of the group sleeps, Glorio discreetly steps out of the cave to take a phone call from none other than Arinsu. They note that everything appears to be going according to plan, and Glorio opts to contact her again soon. When he quietly returns to the cave, Shin subtly cracks open an eye, watching him pass by. Later, after Glorio has fallen asleep, the group is startled awake by a loud noise and a putrid smell. A massive creature stomps toward them from the depths of the cave, prompting Glorio and Shin to wake Goku and Pansy. The beast declares that he was planning to go hunting for food, but instead, his meal has come right to him. Glorio shines a light to view their enemy, but Goku, however, just sees a cow. Offended, the creature insists that he's no mere cow. He walks on 2 feet and no cow is this big. He exclaims that he in fact is a Minotaur. Goku, unfazed, remarks that it's a cool name. The Minotaur appreciates the compliment but remains enraged and hungry, and Goku remains just as confused. Glorio steps forward, offering to deal with the creature and instructs him to step outside. However, Goku insists on handling it himself, noting that Glorio isn't strong enough. Glorio, irritated, accuses Goku of being overconfident and questions if he really thinks he's that much stronger than him. Goku casually responds that he is, and Glorio, determined to prove himself, challenges him to a fight. Goku advises against it, though Glorio persists, stating he doesn't know how strong Goku was as an adult, but he can probably put up a good fight against him as a kid. Goku opts to only fight with one arm, and as the two prepare for battle, the Minotaur watches from behind Shin and
There we go. Level 117 baby is not what I wanted to see right now. We need some low level raiders. Team looks pretty solid. This map again. This map sucks.
Can you hear me? It's Trunks.
Flying Nimbus!
I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
What's gonna do? Key rush him. Get all the Dragon Balls before he's level 2. Or before he gets to level 3. Got 2 Dragon Balls so far.
You found a power key. Go slot it. Hey, great. You found another power key. Use it quick.
Where am I? Someone save
We need to find the C and D key. They're the most annoying to find.
Someone save me!
Someone's on an A key.
Where am I? Flying Nimbus!
I can find a power key radar, that would be great.
I'm putting you out of your misery right now. Ally down. If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Gotta get the hell out of here!
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Well, he did us a favor. Still have 2 level 0s.
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
What a waste.
I need help!
If I can find a Dragon Ball radar.
I need help!
Clutch this. Now he just has to find the E key.
Great. You know what to do with that now.
I need help! Someone!
I don't even have one more cube.
An ally needs your help.
Someone!
You don't know what danger awaits.
Fuck it, let me try.
Before rushing in. Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done.
This guy needs to move, bro. I know he knows I'm not in here because he didn't see me come in here unless he stream sniping. Alright, he's gone. First can wait.
The startup system is under attack. Stop it if you can, but retreat if you need to. Got it? Holy hell.
Can't see shit. Bro, I can't 1v1 this fucking radar.
Before you die, allow me to show you what a fully evolved
You sold?
Tuffle is truly capable of.
Bro, when it comes to rank, these guys don't give a fuck. They'll play dirty. Well, we have some people on a time machine, so that's good.
I've included some ultra-debuffed water with the supplies. It should purify any abnormalities in the body. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Alright, if he gets 2 more kills, the game's over. I lost my Nimbus.
I owe you one!
We might be able to win Time Machine. He needs to go save that guy. That's instant transmission. All the teams. Good job. I lost my Nimbus, so I can't even move properly. It's like I'm stuck, bro. I swear I'm stuck.
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies. An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Baby, my lord, accept this and rise again.
It's always Polaris, man. I swear. If it was any other raider, we could have probably could have won. Might be able to win still.
Stay calm. Stay calm. You're done.
Bubblegum doesn't work.
You need to head for the beacon that's indicated by a blue light.
There's only so much I could have done, man. There's only so much I could have done.
Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Stealth mode time. Check this out.
My last match was worse.
Close. Ready to go.
We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in. I've sent the escape time machine. Use it to get out of there.
Oh, that was close. Yeah, last two matches I had really high level raider. If we get a low level raider, we'll be good.
Pansy, realizing he's being completely ignored. Glorio charges in, launching a flurry of attacks, but Goku effortlessly blocks and evades each one. Goku even misses a punch of his own, but Shin notes that he's barely getting started.
Yeah,
Gaining some
Solar Flare and
distance,
Charming
Goku
Pulse, I had
acknowledges that
Global Gun, that
Glorio
shit
is
didn't work.
stronger than he expected. In
Unfortunately.
response, Glorio raises a hand toward the sky, summoning lightning, his form of magic. He hurls it at Goku, who swiftly dodges, glancing down at the scorched crater it leaves behind. Shin, now invested, calls out for Goku to take this more seriously and show him just how strong Glorio is. With that, Goku grips his power pole tightly and charges back in. Glorio, determined, gathers lightning in both hands and hurls it at him. However, Goku dodges and counters, sending Glorio crashing into a nearby mountain. As Glorio recovers, his residual lightning dislodges the power pole from Goku's grip. Undeterred, Glorio prepares an even stronger attack, focusing all his energy into a single hand. Goku, now inspired, comes up with an idea. A golden aura flares around him as he powers up immensely, transforming into a Super Saiyan. Everyone except Shin is stunned by the transformation, but Glorio launches his attack regardless. Goku, unwavering, waits until the last moment before raising his fingers, effortlessly dispersing the blast. In shock, Glorio's suspicions are confirmed when Goku suddenly appears behind him, pressing a palm to his back. With that, Goku declares himself the winner and
We're 7 out of
Glorio
8, so-
surrenders. Returning to his
Going
base
pretty
form,
quick.
Goku explains
See
that
if
the
we can just get one
transformation
more.
is called Super Saiyan, and he's relieved to see he can still use it despite being in his child form. Glorio, intrigued, questions if Goku has any other abilities. Naturally, he does. As Pansy marvels at Goku's apparent magic, which he clarifies it isn't actually magic, the Minotaur, sensing danger, tries to sneak away. However,
failed to connect
Goku
with
cheerfully
memory.
calls out, apologizing for the wait and offers to fight.
2026, please hire
Panicking, the
new
Minotaur quickly
developers,
spins a story
please.
about already having eaten his fill from a massive beast last night and decides to return to bed instead. Without paying him much attention, the group prepares to leave, but first, Goku needs to relieve himself again. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Vegeta trains with weights as Bulma makes the final adjustments to the other ship. Kibito will be guiding them to the Demon Realm, so they need to hurry and catch up with Shin and the others. Bulma and Popo watch as Vegeta, Piccolo, and Kibito take off, only for the plane to blare an alarm and immediately crash back down. Bulma examines the wreckage of the Demon Realm aircraft and quickly notes an error on one of the devices, intending to swap it out. However, part of the damage includes a crucial energy converter component, one made from a material that doesn't even exist on Earth. Vegeta questions whether Bulma can handle the repairs, but she admits that this is unlike anything she's ever encountered before. The group wonders if they can replace the damaged part with something Earth-made, but Bulma needs time to figure it all out. Frustrations build as tensions rise, but just as the group begins to argue, another aircraft arrives, diverting their attention. Out of the ship steps Hybis, sent by King Kadan to retrieve them. Meanwhile, back in the Demon Realm, Goku opens up a batch of what appear to be dark, scorched rice balls. Pansy identifies them as Manpuku dumplings, emergency rations where just one is equivalent to 2 full meals. Naturally, Goku devours 2 in quick succession and his stomach swells as he starts to feel full. Pansy, stunned that he's actually an adult, wonders how he ever managed to raise a child. Goku nonchalantly replies that he wasn't really involved, which doesn't surprise Pansy. Aboard Hybis' ship, Piccolo, Vegeta, and Bulma have already settled in. Bulma curiously questions why Kibito isn't accompanying them, and Piccolo explains that he stayed behind to guard the temple. Besides, Hybis is their designated guide. Bulma takes an interest in the device Hybis is using to navigate, but Hybis brushes it off, saying his only priority is getting them to their friends so he can finally make it to his beauty parlor appointment. Bulma eyes his single antenna and muses that even Majin care about grooming. Suddenly, King Kadan's voice crackles over the communicator, inquiring about their location. Hybis reports that he just left the temple, prompting Kadan to inform him that Goku and the others are headed toward the Tamagami. He requests they check in once they reach the 3rd demon world, and Hybis agrees. Meanwhile, from her seat by the plane window, Pansy suddenly spots something in the distance and urgently shouts for Glorio to stop. She's seen the military police. Glorio notices an approaching aircraft and attempts to change course, but another ship suddenly cuts them off, leaving them trapped. Shin advises compliance for now, as they can't afford to risk the plane being destroyed. As they're escorted through the sky, Glorio wonders how they were even tracked. Pansy suddenly realizes the answer. The military scanned her collar during their last encounter, thus tracking their location. Every resident in the 3rd demon world is required to wear one, but when Goku suggests simply removing them, Pansy explains that it's impossible. Glorio speculates that if the authorities knew for certain that Goku was aboard, they wouldn't hesitate to attack. As he brings the plane in for landing, Goku casually questions if he should just take them all out. However, that would immediately make everyone aboard fugitives and render Sir Warp unusable. Shin advises Goku to hide, despite Pansy warning that the soldiers will search everywhere. The hatch opens, revealing Glorio, Shin, and Pansy. Shin calmly inquires about the issue, only to be met with orders to disembark for inspection. The 3 are led away while Pansy grows increasingly anxious that Goku will be discovered. The soldiers thoroughly ransack the plane, yet find no trace of him. Just then, Pansy feels a light tap on her shoulder. It's Goku. She nearly reacts loudly, but the others manage to stifle her before she draws attention. Goku swiftly slips away, hiding in a bush behind them. As the military prepares to leave, Shin quietly explains to Pansy that Goku used teleportation to relocate himself by locking onto Shin's energy signature. Pansy marvels at the ability, likening it to magic. Despite finding no one on board, the soldiers call Pansy forward for questioning. They suspect her involvement in an incident where a child threw a bomb at them recently, referring to her initial encounter as the masked stranger. Shin objects, but the officer grabs her anyway, asserting that she'll break under interrogation. In response, Pansy tases him, leaving Shin and Glorio no choice but to fight back. The two easily dispatch the soldiers, but the enemy plane retaliates with gunfire, forcing Goku out of hiding. As the battle escalates, Glorio and Shin take strategic positions, though it results in their plane sustaining yet another round of damage. Glorio blasts one of the aircraft out of the sky, while Shin rams two others together. When one final ship tries to escape, Goku steps in, launching a long-distance ki blast to bring it down. In the aftermath, Pansy scrambles to find a radar gun, explaining that it will disable the downed soldiers' communicators, preventing them from calling reinforcements. Their plane is once again ruined, but Pansy spots an abandoned military aircraft nearby. They gather their belongings as, fortunately, everything had been tossed outside earlier and remained intact. As everyone prepares to leave, Pansy notes that although she disabled the communicators, the military already scanned her collar earlier, meaning they can still track her. In response, Shin wants to inspect it. With a mere touch, he recognizes the material. It's Kachinite, an ultra-dense metal that can only be found on planet Kaishin, once home to the Glens. Pansy insists that the collar is indestructible, but Shin suspects its origins trace back to Dr. Arinsu, dating back to when Dabura was king. Pansy explains that all Majin in the Third Demon World are forcibly fitted with these collars and executed if they resist. The collars are also bizarrely adaptive, growing along with their wearers. Shin offers to remove Pansy's collar, reminding her that he himself is a Glen. He places two fingers on it, raises his hand, and with a cheerful pan paka pan, the collar shatters. With that, Pansy is finally free. Shocked, she exclaims that no magic has ever worked on these collars before and insists that they must share this technique with everyone. Thanking Shin, Pansy inquires for his real name in the demon world. He reveals it's Nahare, a name Pansy immediately recognizes as distinctly Glen. Goku tries calling him by it, but quickly decides it doesn't feel right and just decides to stick with Shin. As they take off in the newly acquired military aircraft, Glorio remarks on its impressive speed. It's twice as fast and incredibly smooth. Meanwhile, Pansy still struggles to process Goku's outrageous plan to take on the Tamagami for the Dragon Balls. Glorio and Shin point out that they'll need a new pin code for the stolen plane. Even if they secure a Dragon Ball in the Third Demon World, they won't be able to use Sir Warp to move on to the Second Demon World. Pansy takes charge, contacting someone named Pearl via communicator. She questions if he can hack a new military pin and gives the number of their plane. The new pin is communicated to Pansy, solving the group's dilemma. Pearl also mentions that Hybis has arrived with the Earthlings in the Third Demon World. Pansy questions if they should wait on them, but Goku insists they press on, as everyone else can catch up later. Shin hesitates, but Goku is eager to confront the Tamagami. Elsewhere, Bulma, Vegeta, and Piccolo step out of the aircraft, taking in the eerie landscape of the Third Demon World. At the same time, Hybis receives fresh orders from King Kadan, continue flying with the Earthlings until they reunite with Pansy's group. Hybis grumbles, mentioning that he has a date to get to, but Kadan sees through the lie. Hybis doesn't even have a girlfriend. Instead, Kadan promises to treat him to a meal, promising Hybis to request a single large pizza with worms. Meanwhile, Glorio questions Goku on if he wants to head straight for the Tamagami, and Goku confirms. They land near a town and make their way toward a distant platform where a massive, silent figure stands wielding an enormous hammer. A Dragon Ball is embedded in its chest, and Goku observes that it resembles the ones from planet Namek. Pansy identifies the figure as Tamagami number 3, warning that no one has ever fought it and won. Goku eyes the hammer, contemplating how to counter it, but Glorio reminds him that he has his staff. It's a one-on-one fight, and Pansy warns Goku to surrender if he's on the verge of death. Glorio questions if Goku is prepared to start, but the Saiyan decides on a pit stop. He's been distracted by the smell of something delicious and needs to eat and use the bathroom first. As Goku begins his meal, the group engages in a light conversation with the restaurant's waiter, who seems both impressed and amused that they managed to steal a military aircraft. Shin inquires whether any demons have recently challenged the Tamagami, and the waiter recalls that about 20 years ago, a man armed with a large gun attempted to do so, but the fight was over in an instant and he was killed. Curious about the process, Goku questions how one goes about challenging a Tamagami. The waiter, slightly puzzled by the question, responds that it's quite simple, you just walk up and issue the challenge. As Goku steps away to use the bathroom, the waiter smirks, commenting on how carefree kids can be. Before heading into battle, Glorio checks in with Goku, asking if he wants to eat a revive bug just in case. Goku, however, declines, exclaiming he's ready to go. Pansy, however, remains skeptical. She recalls hearing rumors that even Deborah himself failed to defeat a Tamagami, which only fuels Goku's excitement. With the preparations complete, Goku approaches the Tamagami. As soon as he addresses it, the creature lets out a thunderous roar, unleashing shockwaves so powerful they ripple through the entire town. Introducing itself as Tamagami number 3, the latter spins its massive hammer, radiating an intimidating presence. Goku confirms his intent. He's after the Dragon Ball embedded in its chest, and that means they'll have to fight. Without hesitation, Goku twirls his power pole in response, signaling that the battle is about to begin. The Tamagami wastes no time, lunging forward with its hammer. Goku swiftly dodges the crushing blows, leaping through the air and bounding off rocky surfaces before launching an attack with the power pole. However, the Tamagami easily swats him away and even manages to evade the extending staff at the last second. The hammer itself seems to be under the Tamagami's control, flying back to its grasp like a boomerang, but Goku catches on to this trick and jumps atop it mid-air. The two continue their back and forth, exchanging strikes and blocks. But even when Goku manages to land a few solid hits and momentarily knocks the Tamagami to his knees, the creature's remarkable speed allows it to recover effortlessly and keep up with him without missing a beat. As their battle rages on, the entire town begins to gather at the outskirts, drawn in by the spectacle. Pansy is awestruck by Goku's strength, while Shin observes that Goku has already fully adapted to the heavy atmosphere of the third demon world. At one point, Goku appears to be trapped between two cliffs, but with a skillful maneuver, he uses the power pole to flip himself back into the action. The Tamagami launches its hammer once more, and Goku struggles to hold it back with his staff as its force intensifies. More and more power surges behind the hammer, but with one final push, Goku redirects it to the side, and in that instant, he transforms into a Super Saiyan. The hammer hurtles back toward the Tamagami, but Goku flips over it to avoid getting hit, and strikes it with the power pole, shattering the hammer's head from its hilt before it crashes to the ground. Now, it's time to get serious. The Tamagami acknowledges this by striking a bold stance before lunging forward with a punch. Goku effortlessly halts the attack with a single palm before countering with his own assault. Suddenly, the Tamagami surprises him by unleashing a continuous ki blast, an attack Goku wasn't expecting.
Try to get this W.
Let the carnival of terror begin.
Start over here.
Is anyone out there?
Beat this guy.
Give me the Dragon Ball. You have my thanks. Give me the Dragon Ball.
You can get a Dragon Ball radar or civilian radar. That'd be great. But we found the key. One more civilian.
me the Dragon Ball.
What do you mean?
Where are the Dragon Balls?
We got 2 keys so far.
That's what that is.
Finding the key when you're the raider is the worst. It's like, bro, wrong team.
Where are the Dragon Balls?
I'm sorry, everyone.
Very well. I'll make sure your death is quick.
I don't know where he went. If there's any more civilians over here. Shooter, stay ready. Once again, goal on Goku Black. I hope you get it this season, man. Level 3. Take out their level 3 as well, that's good. Who's sacrificing himself right now? The out boy. Let them waste their dragon changes. I gotta let them plant that D key. If they don't revive those guys, then the escape time machine will come. Oh, not that easy, guys.
Flying Nimbus!
Not that D key. Yeah, one more civilian. We got level 4. Anything else, just destroy the area.
Well then, let's begin, shall we?
where she went. It's all good.
Wait, I've seen this one somewhere before. Thanks. I intend to rid the universe of every last one of you.
Now we're just trolling. You guys can go.
You will give me the Dragon Balls.
You won't get your wish.
If I can become immortal real quick, that'd be great.
Wait, I've seen this one somewhere before. Thanks.
The pedestal. Trying to get my medals.
Consider it done.
Wait, I've seen this one somewhere before. Thanks.
GG's. Show a little mercy today.
You're no match for me.
Few more wins and we're gonna get the Z rank. Should be in the top 100 by tomorrow.
In response, Goku fires his own energy blasts, using them as a smokescreen to rush in once more. Their exchange escalates, transitioning into an intense battle interwoven with powerful energy attacks. At one point, the Tamagami summons massive eruptions from the ground, forcing Goku to charge up a Kamehameha. The Tamagami, not to be outdone, forms an enormous energy sphere in its palms and launches it skyward at Goku. The two energy waves collide, but Goku's Kamehameha quickly overpowers the Tamagami's blast, driving it backward, smashing through the outskirts of town, and ultimately slamming it into the distant mountain. Goku presses his advantage, pouring even more power into the attack. Yet, the Tamagami somehow manages to deflect the blast at the last second, sending it exploding harmlessly in the sky. But before it can capitalize on this, Goku is already in motion, closing the distance in a flash and slamming an elbow into the Tamagami's chest. He's ready to keep going, but the Tamagami suddenly stops and submits. The fight is over. Goku is caught off guard, questioning why it would surrender when it's clearly still capable of continuing. The Tamagami acknowledges that it now fully understands the magnitude of Goku's power. Powering down, Goku assumes this means he's earned the Dragon Ball, but there's still one more challenge ahead. As more townspeople gather, the sky darkens, signaling the arrival of nighttime. The Tamagami returns to its pedestal and prepares for what it calls the final battle, though what that exactly entails
7
remains
at
a
8,
mystery.
so hopefully we'll
Without
find a match soon.
explanation, it conjures 5 cups, each adorned with a
How's your
miniature
cues, going,
Tamagami
Matt?
head, then pulls the
What raider
Dragon
are
Ball
you
from
training?
its chest and places it beneath one of the cups. Goku must now win a game of skill and perception. Pansy finds this challenge to be incredibly unfair, considering the intense battle Goku just endured. But Shin, after some thought, acknowledges that this too is its own form of battle. Regardless, Goku is ready. The Tamagami begins shuffling the cups, starting off at a slow pace before gradually building up speed. Before long, the movements become so rapid that keeping track seems outright impossible. Still, Goku remains laser focused, his gaze unblinking. When the Tamagami finally stops, Pansy is convinced that finding the Dragon Ball is hopeless. Even Shin admits that he lost track after a certain point. The Tamagami tells Goku to identify the correct cup. Almost without emotion, Goku calmly nods toward the side and declares that it's over there. The Tamagami presses him for a specific choice, but instead of pointing to one of the cups, Goku smirks and gestures behind him, where the Dragon Ball is now floating just above an oblivious town person's head. It turns out that toward the end of the shuffle, the Tamagami discreetly tossed the Dragon Ball away. Goku caught on to the deception, and with that, he's won the challenge. The Tamagami hands over the Dragon Ball,
Again,
while a
failed to connect
holographic
numbers all
decoy
day.
that's been sitting in a nearby tree vanishes, symbolizing Goku's success. Before parting ways, the Tamagami extends its arm, summoning both its hammer and hilt to fuse them together once more. Standing tall, it looks at Goku with newfound respect, declaring that it likes him as he's a fair and worthy fighter. It then wishes Goku luck in his battles against the remaining 2 Tamagami. Goku thanks his adversary, bows, and walks away with his first Demon Realm Dragon Ball in hand. The entire town erupts into cheers, celebrating Goku's victory as they accompany the group on their way out. Glorio, however, lingers for a moment as his communicator buzzes. Answering the call, he confirms to the voice on the other end that they've successfully obtained the 3rd Demon World's Dragon Ball. The person on the other end, Dr. Arinsu, expresses mild surprise, admitting she hadn't expected things to go this smoothly. As the call ends, she turns away, saying it's time to set her primary plan into motion. As the group prepares to depart, the townspeople wave
Frieza at
goodbye
least
while
top 50.
Glorio, Goku, Pansy, and Shin board their aircraft. Even the Tamagami, mid-practice
far,
of
I've
the
only lost once
Kamehameha
against
stance, takes a
Sasha
brief
Jones,
pause to wave
pre-made
as their
the other
plane
day.
disappears into the night sky. As they fly away,
That one
Pansy
loss kicked me
remains
out
in
of- kicked me out
disbelief
of the-
over Goku's
out of the
immense
top 100
strength,
rank.
especially the strange
So mad.
glowing energy he wields, which she compares to magic. Goku shrugs, admitting that in a way, it is. More importantly, he's starving. Without hesitation, he starts chomping down on more dumplings, leaving Pansy bewildered at the sheer mechanics of his body. Shin shifts the focus, asking where they're headed to next. Glorio explains that they're en route to Sir Warp, where they'll travel to the 2nd Demon World. Their flight path, however, needs to be carefully planned. Although Pansy disabled the military police's communicators, the fact that a Tamagami was defeated will undoubtedly send shockwaves through the region, alerting the authorities. Meanwhile, Goma and Degesu are deep in analysis, reviewing footage of the battle against Majin Buu on Earth. Their primary focus is on the moment Buu reformed from countless tiny fragments after Vegeta's sacrifice. Suddenly, Degesu notices something peculiar in the background. Zooming in, they spot Dr. Arinsu discreetly collecting a fragment of Buu. Goma speculates that Deborah must have informed her about Buu's existence, but her true intentions remain unknown. Elsewhere, on a floating rock in the middle of the sky, Arinsu hovers on what appears to be her own version of a witch's broomstick, dispersing a strange gas into the air as she enters a secluded building. Inside, she greets a figure named Marba and inquires about progress. The elderly witch stirs a bubbling cauldron, using a floating spoon to sample the concoction. She notes that the Majin Buu fragment Arinsu provided has enhanced the mixture's flavor. Stepping outside, Arinsu impatiently reminds Marba that this had better work, as her last creation wasn't even strong enough to defeat her. Marba assures her they won't know until it's complete, but with Buu's essence now infused, it should be more stable. When Arinsu prods Marba about Buu's origins, Marba deflects, insisting that Bibidi was the one who created him. But Arinsu isn't fooled. She knows the truth. It was Marba who crafted Boo, while Bibidi merely took credit. The conversation turns tense as Marba admits that Boo was never truly a success. He was powerful but completely uncontrollable, resulting in chaos that drove Arinsu's kind to exile or death. Marba has focused on controllability this time though, and Arinsu is told to provide a bit of her saliva so that she can communicate with it without even having to speak. Green light starts shooting out, and Marba says that if this works, she expects a great reward. Arinsu tentatively agrees, but only if she becomes the Great Demon King. Marba cautions that Goma may not look like much, but he's actually quite powerful. Arinsu, however, doesn't seem concerned. She notes that if things go wrong, she'll just use the Dragon Balls. Marba is stunned, exclaiming that the Demon Realm's Dragon Balls are impossible to obtain. Arinsu then smirks, revealing that she already has one. Meanwhile, Hibis receives a transmission from an audibly intoxicated King Kadan, who enthusiastically delivers the news. Goku has already defeated the first Tamagami and secured its Dragon Ball. The entire castle is celebrating the achievement with a grand feast. Kadan informs Hibis that Goku's group is now headed towards Sir Warp, so rather than tracking them down, Hibis and his crew should simply rendezvous with them there. Given that Glorio and the others commandeered a military plane, the journey should only take a couple of days. In the meantime, Hibis and his group can spend the night in a hotel. Upon hearing this, Hibis seizes the opportunity to question if he can drink wine, specifically mud-colored wine. Kadan, in a generous mood, agrees and even insists that the feast will be on his tab. Piccolo and Vegeta, having remained silent until now, finally join the conversation. Vegeta, deep in thought, is just now realizing the full implications. This realm has Dragon Balls of its own. Hibis confirms this but seems uninterested in elaborating. Vegeta, intrigued, wants to press for more information, but Hibis deliberately ignores him, unimpressed by Vegeta's commanding tone. Realizing he won't get anywhere with arrogance, Vegeta swallows his pride and inquires more politely, prompting laughter from Bulma. With the first Dragon Ball secured, Glorio and the others resume their journey, but soon decide to take a break. Shin suggests camping somewhere safe, but Pansy insists on taking a proper bath and sleeping in a real bed. To disguise Goku, she plops a bear hat on his head, confidently stating that no one will recognize him now. While Glorio isn't entirely convinced, he ultimately concedes, albeit begrudgingly, and they proceed with the plan. Their destination is an impressive, towering structure perched atop a massive floating plateau. Before heading inside, Goku is advised to leave the power pole in the plane since it might attract too much attention, and Shin suggests stashing the Dragon Ball in a sack as an extra precaution. With Pansy handling the packing, they're all set to go. Upon entering the building, the group quickly draws a few suspicious glances as they make their way to the front desk. Glorio decides they should all stay together in a single large room and order room service to remain on high alert. Meanwhile, Goku keeps scratching his head, clearly uncomfortable, and eventually removes the hat. Unfortunately, Pansy and Shin are too preoccupied with their conversation to notice right away, and by the time they do, it's too late. Some of the demons lurking nearby have definitely taken notice. Off to the side, a pair of demons, a fat one with a mohawk and a scrawny, bird-like one, eye the sack and suspect it contains a Dragon Ball. Later, after finishing her bath, Pansy urges Goku to take one as well as he's still sweaty from his earlier fight. Goku agrees, but points out that he didn't bring a change of clothes. Pansy offers to lend him some of hers, which immediately prompts Goku to clarify that he's not about to wear her underwear. Once he's done, Goku emerges from the bath feeling refreshed, now dressed in shorts and a cute bear-themed shirt. Meanwhile, Glorio and the others have a feast delivered, so they all sit down to dig in. As they eat, we see the Dragon Ball resting in its sack on a nearby stool. Suddenly, a commotion erupts downstairs. A wolf is wreaking havoc, hurling furniture and causing a scene. Shin immediately rushes out to investigate, with Goku and Pansy casually following behind. Even Glorio leaps up to get a look. As Goku watches, he wonders aloud if he should step in to put a stop to it. However, before he can act, the wolf catches sight of him and, rather than attacking, whistles for a signal. Right on cue, the bird-like demon rushes through the window, snatches the Dragon Ball, and makes a break for it. Glorio reacts too slowly to stop them, and even though Goku quickly flies out the window in pursuit, the thief has already vanished. Pansy, however, remains unfazed.
6 out of 8.
She had the
Just need 2 more.
foresight to plant a tracker on the Dragon Ball beforehand. As she pulls out the tracking device, the signal reveals the Dragon Ball is now directly above them. Higher up on the floating plateau, the wolf suddenly shifts back into the round, mohawked demon. The bird demon hands over the Dragon Ball, and the two begin strategizing, only to be interrupted by Goku, who casually remarks from behind that their planning is pointless until they have all 3 Dragon Balls. The demons, assuming they misheard, continue their conversation, discussing how they could at least sell the one they just stole. But then it dawns on them, who actually said that? Goku, standing nonchalantly nearby, tells them to kindly return the Dragon Ball. The mohawked demon quickly shapeshifts again, and both take off into the air. Unfazed, Goku stretches, cracking his knuckles and neck before launching into pursuit. The two demons attempt to play keep away, tossing the Dragon Ball back and forth between them. Their plan works for a moment, but Goku eventually lands a well-placed hit, snatching the Dragon Ball back. Enraged, the demons dive in to fight, but Glorio suddenly appears, raising a fingertip to the sky. Lightning gathers above him before he swings it down like a whip, grabbing the demons, spinning them around, and sending them hurtling into the distance. With the Dragon Ball safely back in their possession, Glorio offers Pansy a victorious fist bump. She then checks in with her father for an update on their situation. Tomorrow, they'll be meeting with Goku's friends near Sir Warp. Glorio, curious, questions if these friends are strong, to which Goku confidently confirms that they are. Shin, ever cautious, wonders if they should relocate for the night after all the commotion. Goku assures everyone that he's well rested from his time on the plane and volunteers to stay up and keep watch while the others sleep. At first, he remains alert, periodically scanning the room and even throwing a few practice punches in the air. However, exhaustion eventually takes hold. Despite his efforts to keep himself awake with face slaps and forced eye peeling, he ultimately dozes off. Fortunately, the night passes without incident, and for once, their plane is still intact. With everything in order, they prepare to depart. In their stolen plane, they should reach Sir Warp later that day. Meanwhile, Bulma and the others find themselves stranded. Their plane has been stolen. Hybis points out the irony. The plane they had was stolen only for someone else to steal it from them. It was likely the same demons Vegeta had taken down the night before. Thinking back to that night, after picking up some food, Vegeta had crossed paths with a demon, unintentionally provoking a fight. Naturally, he made quick work of him and his comrades and continued his evening, but it seems the demons weren't ready to let it go. Now, Hybis suggests they contact Pansy to arrange for a pickup, meaning they'll have to wait. In the meantime, he proposes a game, the zombie game. There's a nearby zombie-infested forest, and the challenge is simple. Whoever eliminates the most zombies wins. But if someone gets bitten and turns into a zombie, they're automatically disqualified. Bulma and Piccolo immediately pass on the idea, but before the conversation shifts, Bulma notices something strange, an eerie, spinning eye embedded in Hybis's belt. He casually explains that he found it in the mountains long ago and decided to wear it. It's quite the conversation piece. Elsewhere, at King Goma's castle, Degesu receives a call, listening intently before instructing the caller to continue gathering information. Goma, curious, inquires for an update, and Degesu hesitantly reveals that the Earthlings that they had turned into children have now entered the demon realm, and they're after the Dragon Balls. Goma initially laughs off the concern, but quickly changes his tune when Degesu mentions that they've already secured their first Dragon Ball yesterday. Growing increasingly frustrated, Goma demands to know what Degesu has been doing this whole time. It seems they underestimated this group, who are now en route to the second demon world for their next Dragon Ball. Furious, Goma demands Degesu to do something about this, and exclaims that he should have just wished for the evil third eye from the beginning. Later, Glorio's plane finally lands, reuniting them with Hybis and the others. As introductions are made, Bulma formally introduces Vegeta and Piccolo to Pansy, who remarks that she's never seen a Namekian before. Meanwhile, Goku inquires about Kibito's whereabouts, and Piccolo explains that he stayed behind to guard the temple on Earth. Vegeta, eager to move things along, acknowledges Goku's successful retrieval of a Dragon Ball and is ready to press forward. However, their plane simply doesn't have enough room for everyone, especially with all their supplies on board. Pansy assures them that her father can provide another plane, but they'll need to wait a bit longer. In the meantime, Goku suggests that while they wait, they might as well take down Goma. Piccolo notes that Kibito's teleportation ability would have been useful, which earns a knowing look from Bulma. Goku and the others depart, much to Vegeta's frustration. At the same time, Piccolo observes that Goku is clearly obsessed with fighting the Tamagami. Before they can discuss further, Hybis once again proposes playing the zombie game, but before they can respond, a larger group of demons suddenly ambushes them. It's the gang from the previous night, now reinforced with extra backup. Hybis, unconcerned, decides to sit this one out and snack on the sidelines. Meanwhile, Vegeta calmly unleashes his aura, eager to let off some steam. As the battle commences, he effortlessly weaves between attacks, dispatching enemies with ease. Piccolo joins in, knocking out a club-wielding demon, while Vegeta deals the final blow to a horse-like demon with boxing gloves. As the dust settles, Hybis casually comments that the fight ended so quickly he only had time to eat 2 chips. Vegeta extracts information from one of the demons, confirming that their stolen plane is nearby and that they'll be airborne again soon. Elsewhere, Arinsu and Marba continue their experiment, preparing to create a new Majin. Marba recalls that she once had an ample supply of Cybermen seeds, enough to sell them to outsiders, but now she's down to her final 2. Arinsu, skeptical that their plan will succeed immediately, advises using only 1 for now. Marba questions whether Arinsu doubts her abilities, but Arinsu simply retaliates what Marba herself had previously stated: Majin Buu was just a fluke. Regardless, Arinsu is handed a single seed with clear instructions. It shouldn't be planted too deep, just about 5 centimeters below the surface. This will enhance Buu's essence, but at the cost of losing any control over it. Taking a steady breath, Arinsu carefully plants the seed, covers it with soil, and waters it. Suddenly, the cauldron erupts in a burst of green energy. Using a Cyberman as a base, combined with various monstrous elements and the essence of Buu, they bring forth their creation, Majin Ku. Without hesitation, Arinsu commands Ku to take down Tamagami number 1 and retrieve the Dragon Ball. Marba hesitates, but Arinsu is confident. If Ku isn't strong enough for this, what's the point? With that, the new Majin sets out on his mission. Majin Ku formally introduces himself to Tamagami number 1 and wastes no time in declaring his purpose. He's here for the Dragon Ball. As the battle begins, Ku strikes a series of exaggerated poses before launching into a rapid barrage of attacks. However, the Tamagami skillfully evades each strike, forcing Ku to shift into a defensive stance. Thinking fast, Ku gathers energy, forming a powerful ki blast above his head before guiding it downward toward the Tamagami, who effortlessly slices through it as if it were nothing. Meanwhile, Glorio and the others arrive at the next Sir Warp transfer station. With the newly issued pin and a quick magical adjustment to make Goku's ears look more pointed, they prepare for their journey. Small Sir Warp offers some initial resistance, questioning their identities, but Pansy's well-crafted story about being from a military family is convincing enough to grant them passage. As they prepare to leave, Shin contemplates whether they should take this chance to head directly to the first demon world instead. However, Goku and Glorio agree that securing the next Dragon Ball in the second demon world remains the more strategic move. Goku still worries about Dende's safety, but Shin reassures him that since Goma and his forces took Dende alive, they must have specific plans for him. With that settled, the group sets off once more. Meanwhile, Hybis and the second group of Earthlings have successfully reclaimed their stolen plane and are now back on course. Bulma, however, remains preoccupied with the miraculous smoothness of her skin, a transformation even Hybis takes notice of. As Bulma muses aloud that perhaps staying a child wouldn't be so bad, Hybis seizes the moment to suggest she could be his girlfriend. Vegeta immediately shuts this down, reminding Hybis that Bulma is his wife. Unbothered, Hybis shrugs it off and casually remarks on Vegeta's funny hair. The exchange further fuels Vegeta's frustration. He's had enough of being stuck as a child. Bulma teasingly suggests that he should just go ahead and request to be turned back on his own. However, Vegeta insists that they'll return to their original forms together. This prompts Hybis to ask an unexpected question. Does Vegeta prefer women with large breasts? Vegeta explodes in outrage, shouting at Hybis, while Piccolo silently concludes that Hybis' assessment was right on the mark. Back at the battlefield, Ku continues his relentless attacks against the Tamagami, but struggles to make a dent. Even his powerful whirlwind charge proves ineffective, as the Tamagami simply grabs him mid-air and tosses him aside. Undeterred, Ku executes a series of flashy maneuvers, closing the distance for another round of direct strikes. He caps off his assault with a powerful mouth blast from
Alright, we found
above,
a match.
which the
Should start in 2
Tamagami
minutes.
takes head on. Watching from the sidelines, Arinsu grins. Perhaps things are finally turning in their favor. At last, Glorio and his group reach the second demon world. With the air being far less dense, they're able to fly at much greater speeds. Even better, they're already near their next target, the next Tamagami. Shin wonders aloud if Krakens still inhabit these waters, to which Glorio confirms that they do. If they descend too low, they'll risk being swallowed whole. Pansy has heard about these creatures before, massive beings with claws and tentacles, but before they can continue their discussion, an unexpected threat emerges. The military police have locked on to their location. A fleet of 5 planes rapidly closes in, unleashing a hailstorm of gunfire. Glorio attempts to evade and counterattack, but aerial combat isn't exactly his specialty. Their plane takes a direct hit, prompting Goku to leap out and engage the enemy head on. Moving swiftly through the sky, he dismantles each of the attacking aircraft one by one before flying back to rejoin his companions. At their headquarters, Goma and Degesu watch the entire skirmish unfold on their monitors. Realizing that they've severely underestimated their adversaries, Goma issues an urgent command. He wants every available military police unit to regroup in the first demon world before things spiral further out of control. Just as the group regain their bearings, one of the Kraken makes its move. Emerging from the water, it appears poised to devour them whole, only to fake them out at the last moment, instead snaring their plane with its massive tentacles. Reacting quickly, Goku and the others abandon the plane, taking to the skies. However, at the very
Can you hear me? Flying Nimbus! Trunks! I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies.
Bro, where's all the cells?
Here's how to launch. Find the power
Cell is the
keys,
easiest raider to
then
beat.
place them in the right spots. You found a power key. Go slot it.
Someone.
Got busted.
I'll take care of the civilians controlled by Baby here.
Flying Nimbus!
We got this E key set. That's good.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Where? Josh ass.
Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick.
Start seeing civilians move. That's when you know the raiders are on. Just need to find 2 more keys. Okay.
Well then. I'm putting you out of your misery right now. Where am I?
Bastard!
Bit the dust.
That's annoying.
Hang in there. I owe you one.
Someone save her!
Oh my gosh.
Before you die, allow me to show you what a fully
I am so sick of
evolved
Baby.
Topple is truly capable of. They're not in their right mind. Just leave them to me, okay?
Flying
Okay,
Nimbus!
so again, we just need to find this A and B key. See what's up here.
An ally needs your help. We don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
Only one level 3. That's myself. I get the Dragon Balls.
Flying Nimbus!
At long last, the time to fulfill my true purpose has come.
The Raider has the last 2 Dragon Balls stolen from me.
That's a new power key. Place it now. Truly a sight to behold. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help.
To B. See if I can find the key up here. So we gotta fight.
At long last, the time to fulfill my true purpose has come. Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick.
Where am I?
At long last, the time to fulfill my true purpose. The startup system for the super time machine is ready. Head there now. Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Has instant transmission to save Kevin?
Excellent.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
Oh, that's game. Yeah, it's the last two Dragon Balls.
Oh man.
I included some ultra-defined water with the supplies. It should purify any abnormalities in the body.
Here comes the pain.
You got me. That's the next.
Very last second, Pansy suddenly turns back. As the Kraken's grip tightens, she finds herself trapped inside. Realizing she's in danger, Goku rushes back, snatching her from the crushing grasp just in time. For a brief moment, it seems as if the Kraken has swallowed them, but they soon burst forth from its mouth, free once again. Seemingly satisfied, the creature retreats beneath the water's surface. As everyone regroups, Shin suddenly notices something crucial. They've lost the Dragon Ball. But that's exactly why Pansy had gone back. She managed to recover it before their escape. Watching the feed, Goma is left fuming, believing he had finally secured a victory, only to be thwarted yet again. In light of everything that's happened, Shin suggests they hold off and wait for Vegeta and the others to arrive. Glorio agrees with the plan, while Goku laments that he probably should have left at least one of the enemy planes intact. Looking ahead, Shin notes that the planet where the Namekians once lived should still be floating nearby, making it a suitable rendezvous point. Meanwhile, the battle between Ku and the Tamagami continues, but things aren't looking good for Ku. The Tamagami remains completely unscathed by his attacks, much to even Arinsu's surprise. Ku attempts another strike, only to be effortlessly hurled into a nearby wall. The Tamagami remains eerily calm, reappearing beside Ku again and again, forcing him into a constant defensive retreat. Elsewhere, as Goku surveys the planet below, he notes its striking resemblance to planet Namek. Shin acknowledges that it must have taken immense effort for the Namekians to relocate and rebuild, especially given the abundance of trees. Goku reminisces about how Frieza had destroyed it all, but before he can dwell on it, his stomach growls. Glorio tells him to deal with it. It hasn't even been that long since breakfast. Goku, however, pulls out one of his revive bugs, wondering if they not only restore stamina, but also curb hunger. Pansy corrects him, explaining that's not how they work. Nevertheless, Goku decides to test it out. The taste is awful, but to his surprise, he feels energized and even a little fuller. As they continue exploring, it becomes clear that no one lives here anymore. The water is still filthy, untouched since the Namekians abandoned the planet. Suddenly, Goku stifles. He senses Vegeta and the others have arrived. Without hesitation, he flies off to meet them. Upon arrival, Bulma notes that this place doesn't feel like the Demon Realm at all. Piccolo, on the other hand, seems to feel an odd sense of familiarity, even though he himself never lived here, but his father. At the same time, Vegeta immediately picks up on Goku's presence. As they approach, Goku animatedly gestures from the main window, trying to communicate something, but no one can decipher what he's trying to say. Finally, Piccolo has them open the door, allowing Goku to issue a warning, Kraken are nearby. Vegeta scoffs at first, until one suddenly emerges from the water, its massive form looming over them. The group quickly ascend, picking up speed to escape. Vegeta expresses his shock about the creature's size, and Goku notes they aren't strong enough to defeat it right now. Piccolo questions if Goku came to warn them, though the latter denies it, stating his group needs a ride since they lost their plane to a Kraken earlier. Meanwhile, Ku, now exhausted, realizes the futility of continuing. He straightens
when the match
himself,
starts, the escape time machine will
apologizes,
just show up and then we'll
concedes
just
the
escape.
fight before retreating back to Arinsu to apologize again. With the battle over, the Demon World's military police arrive, drawn by the earlier commotion. However, they find only silence. The Tamagami has already returned to its pedestal. Arinsu, utterly disappointed, declares that Ku
going to be the mother of all battles, one unlike any other.
Just gotta find a beacon and try to get out of there.
Can you hear me?
Flying Nimbus!
Trunks, I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots. The escape time machine's ready to launch. Ignore the power keys. Get out of there. There's a beacon where the blue light is. Do you see it? Head that way fast. I've sent the escape time machine. Use it to get out of there.
I would have just left.
I need help!
Welcome.
Where am I?
We'll try again.
Ku is fired. Ku, however, protests, arguing that while he may not
That
have
was the
won,
quickest match
he's
ever.
still strong. Plus, he's a good singer, surprisingly fast, and if nothing else, he could always be sent on shopping errands. As Hibis's ship lands on the Namek homeland, the full group is finally reunited. Piccolo finds the place strangely welcoming, though he has no personal connection to it. Shin reflects on how the Namekians' abilities made them highly sought after by the Demon Kings, almost like slaves. As the discussion unfolds, Pansy brings up Nahare, confirming that Shin was also from the second demon world. This piques Bulma's curiosity. What exactly is Nahare? Goku casually explains that it's Shin's real name. Intrigued, Bulma presses further. Why had Shin, one of the beings that escaped the demon realm, left in the first place? Shin notes that it's a long story, and Goku doesn't want to hear it, but Bulma presses on. Long ago, the benevolent great demon king of that age sought to expand the reach of the demon realm. To achieve this, he commanded the powerful Super Majin Raimus to create the universe. Raimus, to this day, remains the highest authority. As the newly formed universes took shape, the Majin dispersed across them, settling into their own domains. In time, Raimus selected a chosen few among the Glend and tasked them with overseeing the universes as Supreme Kai. Curious, Bulma poses a question. Does this mean that every being in the universe is technically a descendant from the Majin? Shin, however, clarifies that this isn't necessarily the case. For instance, Earthlings and Saiyans only emerged after the universe had already been established. Following the initial creation, many of the Glend relocated to a planet near Raimus, where they continue to flourish. At that time, Sir Warp could still be used freely to travel between realms. However, this changed under Deborah's predecessor, Abora, who feared external threats and ultimately imposed restrictions on Sir Warp's usage. During this period, Shin was still residing in the demon realm. He explains that tensions rose among the Glend, leading most of the remaining ones to revolt against Abora and flee to the outside world. It was in the aftermath of this rebellion that he was appointed as Supreme Kai. At Goku's prompting, Shin elaborates further, explaining that the Glend originate from 5 ancient Glend trees. However, all of these trees have since perished, and with no means of sustaining their kind, they had little reason to remain in the demon realm, thus leading them to seek refuge beyond its borders. This revelation sparks a realization in Bulma. If the Glend trees are gone, then that means the Glend will eventually die out. Shin solemnly confirms this truth. Hibis, piecing things together, acknowledges that Shin is a Glend himself and remarks that he must be pretty smart, just like Degesu and Arinsu. Pansy nods, confirming that they're all siblings. Hibis, unimpressed, jokes that they probably used to fight over snacks. Sure, they may be Glenned, but that doesn't mean that they're particularly kind-hearted. Bulma then questions Shin on if he has any desire to visit his home planet. He dismisses the idea though, explaining that there's nothing left for him there. Instead, he urges the group to move forward. Vegeta, growing impatient, is eager to reach the next Tamagami and claim its Dragon Ball. Without further delay, everyone boards Hybis's ship. Since it's Hybis's first time in the area, Bulma suggests that Glorio take the controls. Just as the group prepares to leave, a slow, deliberate presence emerges. As Pansy glances over, a figure approaches the plane. It's the Namekian, Neva. As he reaches the group, Goma and Degesu observe the interaction remotely from their monitors. Goku questions if this Namekian actually lives here. Neva's eyes, however, land on Glorio, who's holding a sack containing a Dragon Ball. With a sudden burst of excitement, he hums a little tune. Vegeta, unimpressed, assumes the old man is senile and suggests they move on, but Piccolo steps forward, cutting through the act. He questions if this is truly the legendary Namekian Neva. Neva eyes Piccolo carefully and notes he's a rare warrior-type Namekian, reminding him of Katas. Piccolo confirms that Katas was his father and introduces himself. His name is rather unusual, but Neva questions what he's doing here. Piccolo remains firm, insisting that Neva already knows the answer. He saw all of this coming, yet chose to feign ignorance. He came to Earth alongside Goma, all for the sake of using their Dragon Balls. Pressing on, Piccolo questions why Neva turned them into children. Neva explains that it was Goma's doing. He feared they might invade the demon realm, and reducing them to children ensured they wouldn't pose a serious threat. Piccolo questions what Neva might have done had a different wish been made, but Neva simply shrugs. He would have just kept playing dumb. The conversation shifts to Dende, and Neva agrees that Goma would never actually harm, let alone kill him, as doing so would render Earth's Dragon Balls useless. Still, even Neva hadn't anticipated the group's strength or their determination in gathering the Demon Realm's Dragon Balls. Goku then lays out their plan to use these Dragon Balls to restore themselves to adulthood and then rescue Dende. They currently have one Dragon Ball and are en route to retrieve the second. As the pieces click into place, Pansy suddenly realizes this is the Namekian who created the Tamagami. With the ability to create such powerful beings, Pansy notes Neva could have taken down the Demon King himself. Neva, however, responds, Namekians must not use their power for conflict. This earns a few skeptical side eyes, particularly toward Piccolo. Glorio is eager to keep moving, warning that Goma must already be aware of their presence. Neva expresses a desire to accompany them, but Pansy objects, as the plane is already too crowded. Instead, Neva questions if anyone among them can speak the Namekian language, as the wish will have to be spoken in it. Bulma notes that this is just like the scenario with Porunga on planet Namek. Goku inquires if Piccolo can speak the language, but Piccolo admits that his years on Earth have dulled his fluency. Neva sees this as the perfect reason why he should come along, and Goku agrees. Meanwhile, after Ku's defeat at the hands of Tamagami number 1, he and Arinsu return to Marba's in search of a way to craft an even stronger fighter. Ku voices his concern that continuing to fight is too dangerous, though he takes pride in his own observational skills. Arinsu, however, doesn't think he has much to be proud of. She points out that their previous attempt at creating a Majin didn't contain enough of Buu's essence. This time, Marba pours in every last fragment, and a brilliant purple glow emanates from the cauldron. Now, only one Cyberman seed remains. Marba suggests burying it 10 centimeters deep, but Arinsu insists on going 20 centimeters since it's their last chance. Marba hesitates, thinking it's too risky, but Ku reassures them if things spiral out of control, he'll handle it. They need this creation to be powerful enough to defeat a Tamagami. Even if Arinsu does become the Demon King, she won't be able to hold her position for long without support. Back on the plane, Hybis complains that his rear is sore from sitting in the cargo area. Unfortunately, there aren't enough seats for everyone. Bulma seizes the opportunity to question Neva about his name and why he chooses to live in isolation. Pansy chimes in, wondering if he ever feels lonely. Even Shin gets involved, questioning why he didn't leave with the rest of his kind. Neva responds simply, he likes it here and he must protect it until his people return. Bulma poses another pressing question, why did he create the Tamagami in the first place? Neva explains that, initially, the Dragon Balls of this realm were meant to serve as a reward. However, when word spread and people began using them recklessly, he altered the process to ensure they couldn't be obtained so easily. As the group continue their journey, Goku grows impatient, grumbling that the plane is moving too slow and that their previous one would have arrived already. Vegeta takes the moment to stake his claim. He gets to fight the next Tamagami since Goku fought the first one. Goku protests, calling it unfair, and turns to Neva, asking if multiple people can fight a Tamagami in succession. Neva confirms that it's possible as long as the battles themselves remain one-on-one. Even so, he's astonished that they're actually excited about fighting the Tamagami. Back at the cauldron, Marba pours in the last of the concoction, and Arinsu once again contributes her saliva. Ku carefully digs and measures the hole for the seed, pausing for a moment as he prepares to plant. He questions if this creation will be his brother, and Arinsu confirms. Overjoyed, he notes he's always wanted a brother, but Arinsu dismisses the sentiment. Ku adds the water, and the three gain some distance. As the mixture begins to violently react, Arinsu questions Marba for the name of their new Majin. His name is Majin Du. As the environment shakes and crumbles around them, a chubby, green Majin slowly turns to face them, his expression serious. Out of nowhere, Du lets out an ear-splitting scream, sending out a massive shockwave. Then, without warning, he bends over, shakes his rear, and raises an arm in the air, yelling out. Arinsu and Marba, momentarily stunned, instinctively reply in unison. Strangely, Du immediately demands chocolate. Marba has none, prompting Ku to request money so he can make a quick store run. He dashes off and returns in no time, handing Du a chocolate bar. Ku opens his own bar and, feeling generous, offers to split it with his new brother. Du promptly takes the larger half, sparking an outburst from Ku. Though his irritation is partly real, he secretly enjoys the playful rivalry. He's always wanted to fight over snacks. With Ku perched on his head, Du approaches Arinsu and questions what his purpose is. Though a bit thrown off by his demeanor, she tells him to fight something called a Tamagami. Du agrees without hesitation. Marba, observing his enthusiasm, starts to believe that their plan may have actually worked. Arinsu, however, remains unconvinced. Meanwhile, Glorio continues piloting the plane as most of the group sleeps. Eventually, they close in on the second Tamagami, who hovers ominously near a cliffside. At the same time, Arinsu and her team return to Tamagami number 1. Du steps forward and cheerfully introduces himself, ready for battle. On the sidelines, Ku cheers him on. The Tamagami raises its sword, but Du responds by bouncing up and down excitedly before launching himself forward in a spinning attack. The Tamagami catches him and flings him aside, but Du uses the wall to rebound, suddenly darting unpredictably around the battlefield. Each time the Tamagami attempts to strike, Du expertly stops in place, landing several awkward blows before letting out another scream. The Tamagami retaliates with an energy blast, but misses Du directly, prompting Du to attempt creating one of his own. However, as he examines the energy in his palm, it explodes in his face. Du, however, merely shrugs it off. As Vegeta stretches in preparation, the group arrives at Tamagami number 2. Pansy warns them that it may look like a statue, but it will move the moment it's challenged. This Tamagami is incredibly powerful, and even high-level demons have failed to defeat it. Pansy questions if Vegeta will stand a chance, though Bulma tells her to sit back and watch. Goma and Degesu continue observing remotely. Vegeta steps forward, issuing his challenge for battle. The Tamagami scoffs though, dismissing him as a mere child who should go running back to his mother. But then it notices Neva watching from a distance. Realizing this is a serious fight, it apologizes and swings its trident, signaling the start of the battle. Vegeta wastes no time, immediately firing a ki blast as the battle kicks off. He and the Tamagami exchange a rapid series of blows and dodges, energy attacks punctuating the fight. Eventually, Vegeta finds an opening, unleashing a flurry of strikes before finishing the sequence with a powerful energy blast. Everyone is shocked, though Bulma smirks knowingly. Vegeta hasn't even started getting serious yet. The Tamagami retaliates, wielding its trident with deadly precision, attempting multiple strikes before finally slashing Vegeta.
Compared to me, you're nothing but an annoying little fly. It's Trunks. I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Thanks.
Gotta find some keys quick.
It's no use.
Flying Nimbus!
You found a power key. Go slot it.
I saw a baby over there. I'm just gonna have to be.
Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick. Ally down. If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
That guy's gonna plant that key. I'll head to see them.
Saiyans. Saiyans. What? What?
It's no use.
What's this feeling of intimidation?
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Go set this real quick. All the way over there. We got 5 Dragon Balls so far.
It's no use.
Can you hit him when he's a little thing? Oh, can't.
I'm putting you out of your misery right now. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. I'm going to make you disappear right here.
Oh no!
Get on!
Gotta get the hell out of here! Give me a freaking break. Flying Nimbus!
No, you don't. Great. You know what to do with that key. An ally needs your help. You don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in. No, you don't.
Oh man.
I'm gonna give the ball to
Impressive. For
that
once,
person because
I have to
they're a
commend
good player. I'm not gonna be a ball hog.
you. No, you
Don't. Is anyone out there?
Take it, bro. Take it.
dust hat.
Anyone out there? See me? Holy hell. Anyone out there?
Want the ball, bro? Take it. I don't mind.
You've got all 7 Dragon Balls. Summon Shinron at the altar. That's more like it.
Should fight actually.
I'm going to make you disappear. Right here.
Waiting for this person to summon and then we'll go fight.
Now it shall be done. I will grant your wish.
Get up, insect. Don't go lying down on me now. Before you die, allow me to show you what a fully evolved Tuffle is truly capable of. Excellent.
A lot easier to fight while we were level 2. These guys took too long.
Looks like you might amuse me a little while longer.
Got Pandora on the key. Alright. I'll wait for the escape time machine to come. Not sorry, the regular time machine.
Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go, then you're done.
Oh man.
What a freaking blow that was.
Let's go! Fight till you're back! Flying Nimbus!
I'm gonna try to see if I can grab a soda real quick. But nope, no sodas over there.
Somebody's down! Exercise extreme caution if
Right
you're
here.
going to help them. I've included some ultra-divine water with the supplies. It should purify any abnormalities in the body. Thank you.
Holy hell.
Dragon change back. Just using this rock as a shield. Couple more seconds.
If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. Don't worry. I'll take care of the people under baby's control here.
On with our level 4. We cooked.
Watch out for enemies.
Oh man.
Baby, my lord, accept this and rise.
We've been losing a
again.
baby all morning, man. It's ridiculous. Time machine's still going.
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Come on, team. It's almost done. It's almost done. Come on, team. It's almost done. Come on, team. It's almost done. Come on, team. Come on, team. Come on. Oh my god, bro. I'm so done with this game.
Escape time machine's almost
I'm done with this game. This game sucks balls, bro.
indicated by a blue light. I've sent the escape time machine. Use it to get out of there.
Don't get cocky.
The escape time machine is back. Whenever you have a beacon, you can call it again.
Too close for comfort.
These guys were such pussies to run away, man.
Uh-oh. Holy hell.
Dare make a fool of me. Dare make a fool of me.
It's on now!
What are you trying to pull?
I've sent the escape time machine. Use it to get out of there.
We almost won that match.
across the face,
I should not
drawing
give him
blood.
jump balls.
Meanwhile, Du continues his wild, erratic fight against Tamagami number 1, zipping around unpredictably while flinging energy blasts. Back at the second battle, the Tamagami deftly launches a trident slash at Vegeta, sending him hurtling into the ocean. As Vegeta struggles to regain control, a massive kraken lurking beneath the surface seizes the opportunity. He's found his next meal. The monstrous creature begins to inhale, creating a powerful underwater vacuum that drags Vegeta closer to its mouth. But Vegeta isn't going down that easily. With a sudden burst of energy, he propels himself out of the water and into the sky, only to find the Tamagami waiting for him. Before he can react, the Tamagami swings its trident with brutal force, sending Vegeta plummeting straight back down, directly into the Kraken's open mouth. Goku calls down toward the water, scanning for any sign of Vegeta, who appears to have been swallowed whole by the Kraken. The massive beast emerges again, lunging at Goku, who swiftly dodges and moves back, only to catch sight of Vegeta clinging on to one of its tentacles. Vegeta, visibly frustrated, admits he's still struggling to adjust to the limitations of a child's body. Tamagami number 2 immediately resumes its relentless assault, forcing Vegeta to transform into a Super Saiyan while simultaneously avoiding the Kraken's attacks. A relentless barrage of energy blasts from above keeps Vegeta pinned near the water, making escape nearly impossible. With no room to maneuver, the Kraken seizes its chance and swallows him whole. Inside the beast's dark, cavernous mouth, however, flickers of energy begin sparking around Vegeta. Moments later, an explosion erupts from within, and Vegeta blasts his way out. The Kraken, as if acknowledging its defeat, yawns before drifting away. Now, in Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta finally shifts to an all-out offense, retaliating against the Tamagami with a Ki Blast and devastating close-range strikes. His punches and kicks land cleanly, striking the Tamagami directly in the face. Goku lands beside the others, relieved that Vegeta is finally taking the fight seriously. Pansy, meanwhile, stands in disbelief, trying to process whether this other fighter is capable of using magic as well. Elsewhere, Du continues to bounce, slink, and cannonball his way around Tamagami number 1, with Ku enthusiastically cheering him on. Just as Du is about to land a decisive strike, he suddenly halts, his fist mere inches from the Tamagami's face. Without warning, he hops back, turns away, and loudly announces his desire for more chocolate. Arinsu, annoyed, shouts that he's in the middle of an important battle, but Du is completely inconsolable, spiraling into a full-blown tantrum. Ku, realizing there's no other way to get him back on track, leaps away, announcing his intent to retrieve some chocolate. While Du remains distracted, the Tamagami seizes the opportunity. It hurls him into a wall, retrieves its sword, and charges forward to continue the fight. Back in Vegeta's battle, his overwhelming performance against the Tamagami captures Neva's interest. The old Namek, intrigued, slams his cane into the ground and waves his hands, amplifying the Tamagami's power even further. If these warriors truly wish to fight, then he'll ensure they have a proper challenge. Now enhanced, the Tamagami moves with blinding speed, delivering rapid strikes and launching Vegeta into the water with its trident before trapping him within a powerful underwater whirlwind. Du, meanwhile, remains on the run from Tamagami number 1, the sheer chaos of their battle drawing the attention of the military police. The destructive eruptions finally register with Degesu and Goma, who have been too engrossed in watching Vegeta's battle on their monitors to notice the other fight. Degesu swipes to another feed and spots a strange creature fleeing from the Tamagami. Du continues dodging the Tamagami's sword strikes until, just at the right moment, Ku appears atop a wall and flings a chocolate bar down to his brother. With a gleeful sparkle in his eye, Du gulps it down in one bite before yelling out, unleashing a massive energy blast from his mouth that slams directly into the Tamagami. He follows up with another blast for good measure, sending the opponent crashing to the ground in a violent explosion, now forced onto its knees. Goma and Degesu scan the battlefield, their eyes locking onto Arinsu standing off on the side with Ku. Du spins violently toward the Tamagami, who, despite its injuries, powers up, still refusing to surrender. However, every time it attempts to attack, Du twists and contorts his body in impossible ways, slipping through its strikes and landing counterattacks in return. With a final, point-blank energy blast from Du, the Tamagami collapses, its sword landing next to it. Much to everyone's surprise, the Tamagami concedes defeat. However, the battle isn't over yet. The final challenge still remains. Goma narrows his eyes at the scene, trying to decipher the strange creature's identity. At the same time, Degesu, observing his sister's behavior, begins to question what her true intentions might be. For the final challenge to claim the Dragon Ball, Du is tasked with solving a mental arithmetic test. A sequence of numbers appears before him, and he must correctly add them all. Initially, the numbers appear at a steady pace, but they soon accelerate, rapidly increasing in size until the final number flashes. Now, the Tamagami demands an answer. Arinsu protests the absurdity of the challenge, arguing that no one could possibly complete such a ridiculous problem. The Tamagami, however, remains firm and repeats its demand for an answer. Off on the side, Ku quietly mutters 683,775,029, and Du's ears perk up. He immediately repeats the number aloud, and silence follows. Then, the Tamagami confirms it's correct. When the Tamagami hands over the Dragon Ball, Du's face lights up. Overjoyed, he rushes over to Arinsu and presents it to her, breaking into a celebratory dance. Ku, standing nearby, nudges Arinsu expectantly, waiting for some acknowledgement on his contribution. But Arinsu merely dismisses him, pointing out that all he did was watch. Goma, still observing, fumes in sheer disbelief. Degesu, still trying to make sense of everything, speculates that perhaps Arinsu is protecting the Dragon Ball from Earth's invaders. But Goma immediately rejects the idea. There's no way she would ever act so generously. Regardless, the last Dragon Ball must be secured before it's too late. Degesu switches the monitor back to Vegeta's battle, just in time to catch him still in combat. However, once again, Vegeta is sent crashing beneath the waves, overwhelmed by the Tamagami's sheer speed and power. A devastating punch lands him high into the air before detonating into a massive explosion, the force of the blast sending him plummeting unconscious to the ocean floor. For a moment, all is still. Then, with his fists clenching tightly, Vegeta's energy erupts, surging throughout the depths in such a force that it pushes the Tamagami back to the surface. Meeting his opponent above, Vegeta's aura intensifies, sending violent shockwaves rippling through the sky. But his power doesn't stop there. It continues to build, rising to an even greater peak as his hair begins to extend down his back, golden and wild. The sheer force of his transformation shakes the battlefield as his Saiyan energy explodes outward, dazzling everyone who bears witness. When the dust settles, Vegeta stands tall in his ascended form, Super Saiyan 3. Goku watches in amazement, wondering when Vegeta mastered this transformation. Bulma answers without hesitation. He's been training alone for quite some time. The Tamagami hesitates for a moment, but ultimately charges forward once again. In an instant, Vegeta appears before it, completely unfazed. With a swift spin, he lands a devastating kick, sending the Tamagami hurtling into the water. Without so much as unfolding his arms, Vegeta descends after it, motioning for it to continue the fight. When the Tamagami thrusts forward with its trident, Vegeta casually blocks the weapon with a single finger, repeating the action until he catches it between two fingers and snaps it in half. With one powerful kick, he sends a shockwave through the ocean, splitting the water apart and carving a clear path for his next assault. Still keeping his arms crossed, Vegeta delivers more punishing blows before gathering energy for a Gallic gun. He unleashes the devastating blast, propelling the Tamagami far into the distance. Before it can even react, Vegeta is already ahead of it, delivering a crushing punch to its face. As the Tamagami tumbles through the air, crashing through debris, Vegeta catches it mid-motion, and it finally concedes. Without a word, Vegeta releases the Tamagami, letting it fall into the ocean below. As the waves settle, he allows his power to fade, reverting back to his normal form. Neva, having observed the entire fight, is left in complete astonishment. The Tamagami reassembles its trident before presenting Vegeta with one final challenge. He must answer a question correctly within 10 seconds. A large set of illustrated cue cards appear, revealing a story, and the Tamagami begins to read. The Majin child Johnny gets 15 biscuits from his mother and goes for a walk. After eating 1/3 of the biscuits, Johnny encounters Jiro the goat. Jiro asks for half of the remaining biscuits, so Johnny hands over half. But Jiro worries he was too greedy and returns 2 of the biscuits. Johnny then meets Saburo the dog and gives him a biscuit, but Shiro the monkey suddenly appears and steals 3. Johnny continues on, keeping his anger under control. He then encounters Ichiro the snake. The kind Johnny decides to give Ichiro the rest of his biscuits. How many biscuits was Ichiro able to eat? Goku, confused, counts on his fingers while Bulma groans, knowing that Vegeta struggles with these kinds of things. Time passes and the countdown nears its end. At the last second, Vegeta blurts out 0. Ichiro ate 0 biscuits because snakes don't eat biscuits. Surprisingly, the answer was correct. With that, the Tamagami hands over the Dragon Ball and the group erupts in cheers. The Tamagami, regretful, offers an apology to Neva for failing to protect the Dragon Ball. However, Neva simply waves it off, assuring the warrior that it fought well. Meanwhile, Goku is still in disbelief that Vegeta actually managed to solve the problem, but Vegeta nonchalantly remarks that snakes existed on planet Vegeta, as if the answer had been obvious all along. Goku offers Vegeta one of the revive bugs, but Vegeta immediately turns it down. Goku reminds him that he used to eat critters like this in the past, though Vegeta, with a hint of pride, states that he's far more refined now. Shin then announces the group's next step. They should move on, rescue Dende, and claim the 3rd Dragon Ball. It's time to head to the 1st Demon World. At the same time, Goma, seething over their success, watches in frustration. Degesu, realizing what's coming next, exclaims that they'll be heading for their location. Goma then sets his next plan into motion. Degesu confirms to Goma that the majority of the military police are currently stationed in the 1st Demon World. Without missing a beat, Goma immediately demands that Sir Warp be disabled. If they can't use Sir Warp, they won't be able to reach their location. Degesu, somewhat taken aback, admits he's never heard of anyone actually attempting such a thing. But before he can dwell on it further, Goma continues his rampage, leaving little room for doubt. Determined, Degesu makes his way through a series of eerie hallways, eventually arriving at the imposing magical lock securing a massive lever. He hesitates for a moment before finally pulling it down, triggering the deactivation of Sir Warp. Elsewhere, aboard the ship carrying Glorio and the others, things are about to go from bad to worse. The vessel is sputtering and losing altitude fast. The engine appears to be failing entirely. With no choice but to brace themselves, they plummet downward, gripping onto whatever they can. Miraculously, everyone emerges relatively unscathed after the crash, though they're all a bit jumbled up. With repairs now a priority, Pansy volunteers to handle them, leaving the rest of the group free to survey their surroundings. The area is lush with giant plants, but Goku's sharp eyes spot a collection of buildings in the distance. The group then realizes they lost all their tools during the earlier Kraken attack. Just as the situation seems dire, Bulma steps up, pulling out a Hoi Poi capsule, one of her father's ingenious creations from Capsule Corporation. She tosses the capsule, and with an explosive burst, a fully stocked toolbox materializes in front of them. Pansy is amazed by the technology, while Hybis, ever the Joker, wonders aloud if Bulma could do the same trick with his socks. Vegeta,
Can you hear me?
Flying Nimbus!
I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
I need help! Someone! Flying Nimbus!
I hate when they put the civilians in these buildings, man.
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Someone!
This guy's a level 1 Majin
You
Buu.
found a power key. Go slot it.
If we lose, I'm done, bro.
Are you here to save me?
Flying Nimbus!
Great. You know what to do with that key.
Someone better go set that C key real quick.
Welcome. Thank you. Hey, great. You found another power key. Use it quick.
Don't want no smoke with me. I need it more than these guys. This guy ain't doing shit. Alright, so we have to find this B and E key next. We technically could jump him right now,
That's
but
a new power key. Place it now.
he's gonna transform any second.
Flying Nimbus!
Looks of it, we have 4 Dragon Balls.
Flying Nimbus!
Check this cave right here. Tried me. That way. Gotta take the long way. Still gotta look for some cubes so we can get a level 3. So once we find that key, we can just jump him at the time machine.
You've got all 7 Dragon
We got all 7 Dragon
So
Balls.
let's
Can't let
run
him
at
sell.
the altar. Great. You know what to do with that key.
Welcome. Thank you.
Marquee.
The startup system for the super time machine is ready. Head there now.
Welcome.
Now, state your wish. I shall grant you any wish that you desire. Consider it done.
Welcome.
Flying Nimbus!
I need one more cube, but it's all good.
Take on. You're done. You're done.
There we go. GG's. Yo, what's up, Terrence? How you doing today? Goes to A3. Yeah, good teammates this round. I had 3 matches against Baby, and they were all winnable matches, but bad teammates those times. Y'all make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Let's get some more people in here. Appreciate it. Oh man, beat down and hot dog last night sold heavy. They were trash, bro.
Ever the Pragmatist, suggests that the fighter should simply fly straight to the first demon world. However, Shin quickly shuts that idea down, reminding him that mortals can't pass through Sir Warp unaided. Suddenly, Neva freezes, a realization hitting him like a ton of bricks. His urgency spikes. This place is incredibly dangerous. Apparently, they need to leave immediately because they've landed on none other than planet Mega. Shin grimly confirms that this is the second most terrifying planet in the demon realm. It's not just the inhabitants, the Megath, that make it so, but the sheer scale of everything that's monstrous. Even the Supreme Demon King and the military police refuse to come here. Goku, as always, remains unfazed, believing they'll manage just fine. But Glorio, taking the threat more seriously, urges everyone to hurry. While Pansy and Bulma get to work on the ship, Hibis begrudgingly acts as a makeshift stepping stool, allowing them to reach critical areas.
Surprisingly, we found another match.
Arinsu observes the military
That was pretty
police
quick.
scrambling below, able
Should've
to
started 2
tell
minutes.
something significant has happened. At that moment, her communicator rings. It's Glorio checking in. He reports that they've secured the second Dragon Ball and are on their way. Arinsu chuckles to herself, a smug grin spreading across her face. Now, she has all 3 Dragon Balls in her grasp. Back at the ship, Bulma and Pansy get along well as they tackle the repairs together. During their conversation, Pansy explains that the shiny green substance they're working on is Magilite, a powerful energy source that keeps everything airborne. When it reacts with acidic water, it generates power that can last up to 30 years. The acidic water itself seeps from the third demon world, and its reaction with Magilite makes it glow, almost like an artificial sun. Even more fascinating, depending on the water's composition, the color of Magilite can change. However, despite knowing so much about it, Pansy has never actually seen the sky before. Bulma, intrigued, questions if they can just collect as much Magilite as they want, but Pansy says no. The Demon King controls every last bit of it, and taking any without permission is punishable by death. That said, Pansy's father might just be able to help them steal some when all this is over. Meanwhile, Goku is wandering around and snacking when he catches the attention of an enormous hamster. The oversized
level
rodent
30
immediately starts
Goku
chasing
back.
him, much to his surprise. Vegeta, unimpressed, suggests he simply take it down, but Goku insists that would be too cruel. Before he can formulate another plan, a whole horde of giant hamsters comes barreling toward them. While they're not particularly dangerous, they're absurdly persistent and incredibly
Can you hear me? Flying Nimbus! I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
As long as we can jump him at level 2, we should be good.
One more reason. No. Save me!
You have my thanks.
And now, to finish this once and for all. Flying Nimbus!
See me?
You found a power key. Go slot it. An ally needs your help. You don't know what danger awaits. Think before rushing in.
It'd be nice if we found like 2 keys before you went to level 2.
That's a new power
There we go.
key. Place it now. Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick. What? I owe you one.
Why is this guy coming here, bro?
Where are you?
Nah, stop that fuckery, bro. We're not doing that, bro. There's no way that guy knew I was over there. We're not doing that. Those are the stream snipers.
Ticklish. Holding them off proves to be more of a nuisance than a real battle, but the team does their best to keep them at bay while the repairs continue. Suddenly, the ground trembles beneath them. Giant footsteps echo through the area, causing the hamsters to scatter in a panic. Piccolo and the others take to the sky to assess the situation, and there, striding along the terrain, is a colossal figure. Neva's face pales as he identifies it. It's a Megath. And worse, this creature is only a child. Oblivious to the tiny heroes hovering nearby, the enormous child continues his stroll. Neva, still stunned, notes the bag slung over his shoulder, suggesting he's likely returning home from school. The giant eventually settles down, taking out a meal. A smaller creature waddles up beside him, and as he rummages through his bag, various objects spill out, including oversized pencils that crash to the ground like massive spears. The meal itself is a fried kraken tentacle, presumably picked up from a store on his way home. However, the real problem isn't the giant, it's his monstrous pet dog. The beast sniffs the air, catching wind of something unusual. Then, with a sudden, forceful sneeze, Goku is sent flying into view, setting off the creature entirely. Goku zips away, trying to evade its pursuit, but the dog is relentless. Glorio attempts to distract it with gunfire, and when that proves ineffective, Vegeta steps in with a powerful uppercut. The current plan? Keep the beast away from the ship long enough for Bulma and Pansy to complete their work. The dog, however, seems to interpret the group's attacks as playtime, getting even more excited rather than deterred. Goku, zipping around, suddenly finds himself tangled in a bizarre, blue garden of fine hairs, only to realize he's inside the dog's fur. Things quickly escalate as another set of ominous red eyes emerge. It's a swarm of dog ticks. Goku fights his way out, with Piccolo lending a hand, but before he can regain his bearings, he's smacked clear across the area, landing near the ship. The dog, now fixated on the ship's reflective light, begins charging toward it. Vegeta and Glorio try to hold it off with energy blasts, but nothing is slowing it down. As the dog lunges at the ship, Bulma and Pansy watch in horror, until, from a distance, Goku fires off a well-timed Kamehameha, intercepting the attack just in time. The giant child, now finished with his meal, absent-mindedly tosses the leftover Kraken Claw to the ground. Fortunately, Pansy and Bulma complete the repairs just in the nick of time. Hybis, appearing unfazed,
Yo, Terrence, you
wonders
playing
that he
Breakers
thought
right
for
now?
sure he'd end up a
Or are you just
fossil.
chilling?
Vegeta and Piccolo continue their battle against the dog, but a new problem arises. The giant has noticed the ship and is poking at it curiously. Even something as minor as a simple breath from his mouth is enough to throw the aircraft off balance, making it incredibly difficult for Glorio to maintain control. Goku, seeing the situation escalate, rushes in to stop the giant's hand, but even he struggles against its sheer strength, eventually slipping inside the folds of the giant's clothes. As the giant swings at the plane again, Vegeta unleashes Ki blasts as a Super Saiyan, while Piccolo knocks the broken stick out of his hands. The giant then reaches for his ruler, swiping at them once more. Inside his clothes, Goku gets tossed around, searching for the exit before tumbling into his bag below. Before a strike lands on the ship, Goku bursts out in his Super Saiyan form, wielding the power pole to counter the blow. However, he isn't strong enough and is tossed to the ground. Just as the giant's foot is about to crush him, Glorio swoops in with the plane, snatching Goku up just in time. The giant glances at his foot in confusion while his dog barks wildly after the group, and everyone safely escapes. Vegeta comments on the planet's ferocity, while Neva grimly notes that the adult Megaths are even more terrifying. Goku wonders why they don't just take over as the Demon King, but Shin explains that they're simply too laid back to care. Piccolo, however, remains thoroughly unsettled. Vegeta, taking it all in, suddenly remembers this is only the second most terrifying planet in the Demon Realm, so what could possibly be worse? Neva then answers, Planet Giga, home of the even larger Gigaths. As they continue flying, Goku watches a group of Megath children walking home from school. Colorful lights shimmer in the distance as the group soars away, headed to their main destination. With the plane now back in working order, Glorio expresses his gratitude to Pansy for her skilled repairs. Wasting no time, Pansy dials up Pearl using the plane's communicator. She informs him of their situation and tells him that she needs to pass a message to her father. They've successfully secured the second Dragon Ball and are now en route to the first Demon World. Pearl, clearly impressed, relays some unexpected news of his own. The king himself has gone off to steal a plane and make his own way there. Pansy cringes slightly at this revelation, glancing around at her current company before adding that she's actually traveling with some incredibly strong fighters from the outside world. Having overheard the conversation, Vegeta scoffs at the idea of a king resorting to stealing planes. Pansy, however, quickly explains that they only had one battered, mid-sized aircraft to begin with. Sure, he's a king, but that doesn't mean they're rolling in wealth. Seizing the opportunity, Bulma offers to gift them a few extra planes, so long as she can get her hands on some Magilite in return. Elsewhere in the first Demon World, Degesu provides an update to Goma. The military police are nearly in position. However, Goma's biggest concern isn't just their readiness, but a certain group of individuals who seem to have already gathered. When he turns to check on them, he's met with an unexpected sight. 5 military police officers happily stuffing their faces with snacks, completely oblivious to their surroundings. Degesu clears his throat, snapping them out of their indulgence just as Goma fixes them with an intense glare. Instantly, the 5 leap into formation, dramatic lighting kicking in as their pedestals rise for introductions. Special Force Captain, Kadem. Special Force Member Number 2, Danima. Special Force Member Number 3, Hylia. Special Force Member Number 4, Mashim. And Special Force Member Number 5, Gaimoi. Together, they proudly announce themselves as the Military Police Special Force. Goma simply bows his head as the squad immediately begins firing off rounds haphazardly, more interested in showing off than listening. Kadem then casually questions what could have possibly required assembling them all here. Goma gets straight to the point. There's a group of rebels heading in from the second demon realm who might attempt an invasion, while Degesu has deactivated Sir Warp, theoretically preventing them from reaching this world. The special force has been summoned as a safeguard. Kadem then questions who the invaders are. Goma describes them as a mix of children from the outside world and a few individuals from the third demon world. More accurately though, they're adults who look like children. Hearing this, the squad waves off the warning, completely unconcerned. They jokingly tell Goma that he can go ahead and take a nice, long bath, maybe even play with his fart bubbles while he's at it. Degesu, growing irritated, chimes in with a critical detail. These so-called kids are the ones who took down Majin Buu and the Tamagami. The squad bursts into laughter, convinced he's joking. But Degesu insists that it's no joke, while Goma, sighing at their nonchalance, informs them that they'll also be footing the bill for the damage to his lobby. As Goma and Degesu make their exit, the squad exchanges uncertain glances. Could such powerful individuals really exist? Surely this must be an exaggeration. Shrugging it off, they decide to go grab more of those incredible Palace convenience store chips in the meantime. Elsewhere, Glorio brings the plane to a stop in front of Sir Warp, but something is clearly wrong. Neva immediately suspects that Goma must have shut it down. Goku hops out and gives Sir Warp a poke with his power pole, but nothing happens. Vegeta turns to Hybis, asking if there's any other way to get to the first demon world, but Hybis says no. Shin elaborates, explaining that the tunnel leading to the first demon world is sealed off by a light shield. Curious, Goku extends the power pole downward to test the barrier, but before he can process what's happening, Pansy screams a warning. If he touches it, he'll die. A crackling lightning bolt surges up through the power pole, shocking Goku and sending him tumbling toward the shield below. Pansy cries out in alarm, but Neva steps forward onto the platform unfazed. As Piccolo questions him, Neva merely chuckles and cryptically remarks that he figured it was time to air out the demon realm a little. As Goku continues his rapid descent, Neva takes action, flying forward to hover over the shield. Extending his hand, he begins chanting. A swirling ball of energy forms and launches upward, shattering the light shield. Neva repeats the same chant and launches a ball of energy again, this time below Goku. Goku snaps back to consciousness mid-fall, regains control,
Alright guys, we have
and
Raider
steadies
match.
himself in
Should start
flight
in 2
just
minutes.
before landing. The tunnel between the demon worlds are now open. Piccolo quickly puts the pieces together. Neva must have been the one who originally created the light shields long ago. Neva confirms as much, explaining that back then, the second demon world was in utter chaos. Trouble came from both sides, unruly outlaws from the third world and arrogant invaders from the first. That's when the Namekians ultimately decided to leave for the outside world. In response to the turmoil, Neva put the shields in place and established Sir Warp, eventually curbing travel between realms and restoring some semblance of order. Piccolo acknowledges that no ordinary Namekian could have accomplished this feat. Neva is truly legendary. And now, Goku is already fired up and eager to move on. With the tunnel now open, everyone piles back into the plane, and Gloria wastes no time speeding them through. Meanwhile, Degesu suddenly senses something odd, like a shift in the wind, but Goma remains unconcerned. At the palace convenience store, the special squad excitedly piles snacks into their arms. Ku and Du appear from another aisle, amazed by the selection. The special squad flaunts their purchases, bragging that when you're as strong as they are, you can afford as many snacks as you want. Du holds up a chocolate bar, only for the squad to laugh at how that's all the little brats can manage. Without a second thought, the special squad not only grabs every snack in sight, but also swipes Ku and Du's treats, carrying them off to the register. However, when the total rings up to 10,000 Dokuro, reality hits them hard. They don't even come close to having enough money. With an awkward chuckle, they pay for Ku and Du's chocolate instead, brushing off their own misfortune by telling the kids they shouldn't eat too many sweets anyway. Later, back at the palace, Arinsu watches from the window as Ku and Du munch on their chocolate. Her gaze shifts downward to the military police station below, and then she feels something, a sound, a change in the wind, likely related to the shield. Meanwhile, Glorio suddenly finds
Let the carnival of terror begin. Give me the Dragon Ball. You have my thanks. Give me the Dragon Ball.
Thought I was tripping for a second. Just need one more.
Give me the Dragon Ball.
Even if I had one, why would I give it
Do
to
not have them, but I have no need.
Where are the Dragon Balls? You won't get your wish. Very well. I'll make sure your death is quick. Eradicate them!
Alright, you can go. I'll just kill the civilian real quick.
Dragon, whatchamacallit? What are those? Then I have no need. Give me the Dragon Balls. You won't get your wish. You have no thanks.
You guys can give the video a thumbs up, share the stream. Appreciate it. And I think there's one more guy in there too.
Give me the Dragon Balls. What are those? Then I have no need for you.
Fire breath.
Where is everyone?
Well, that was lucky.
What is that?
Then I have no
I lost him. then there was 2. And then there was 1. See if he's gonna try to fight me or run away.
Don't disappoint. Wait. I've seen this one somewhere before. Yes, I made you a promise, didn't I? I said you would experience a dread like no other.
Alright, go. I'll let you go. Beat it.
Wait. I've seen this one somewhere before. Yes, Make me immortal!
I won't be able to summon in time, but it's okay.
You're no match for me.
We didn't rank up. That sucks. Stuck. Parents, you gotta show some mercy sometimes, bro.
Finds the plane pulling forward on its own, completely unable to slow down. Piccolo immediately shifts to strategy mode, stating that once they pass through, they'll be in the sky above the first demon world. But the question remains, what's the temperature going to be like? Glorio jumps in, explaining that the first demon world has a small, sun-like sphere that orbits the planet, and around this time of day, the sky reaches about 60 degrees Celsius. Piccolo determines that if the ship fails, they can just abandon it and fly. Pansy remains skeptical, while Hibis complains about the heat. Bulma, on the other hand, realizes she's the only one here who can't fly. Hibis assumes this means he has to carry her, but she quickly clarifies, obviously Vegeta will be the one doing that. As the doors open, everyone leaps out into the scorching sky. Below, military police spot a plane crash landing, then glance up. The light shield is gone, and people are falling. The Gesu gets the call, immediately pulling up the monitors for Goma to see. Sure enough, Sir Warp is still shut down, but the tunnel is now wide open. Goma's eyes widen in alarm as he orders an attack on Goku and the others. The military police waste no time, launching a full-scale assault on the incoming intruders. While everyone manages to dodge the incoming rounds, the onslaught is unrelenting, and they quickly find themselves being encircled. Glorio and Pansy fire back in defense, while Goku skillfully uses the power pole to deflect incoming shots. However, amid the chaos, a stray blast briefly tases Goku, stunning him just long enough to knock him down. Glorio notes that a direct hit from one of these weapons would be enough to incapacitate him entirely. Determined to fight back, Goku quickly regains his footing and soars upward, using the power pole to dismantle military planes mid-air. However, the group is outnumbered. Vegeta, growing increasingly irritated by the absurdity of the situation, scoffs at the idea that such tactics could work against a Saiyan like him. Without hesitation, he leaps into action, eliminating soldiers and aircrafts one by one until he too is tased and crashes to the ground. Struggling to shake it off, he grits his teeth and requests a revive bug from Goku, who obliges. The moment the bug takes effect, Vegeta is restored to full strength.
We're 7
Fighting
out of
like
8,
this in their
so hopefully we
kid-sized
get another match
bodies is
soon.
proving to be far more challenging than they'd anticipated. From the safety of his throne room, Goma watches the battle unfold on his monitors, excitement bubbling over as he realizes the kids might not be able to hold their own against the military after all. He starts analyzing the group. There's a Namekian from Earth, a brat from the third demon world, and another one, likely from the same place. But then, something catches his eye. Squinting at the screen, he leans in closer, questioning what's on that guy's belt. Zooming in, he realizes the buckle resembles the legendary evil third eye. Back on the battlefield, Goku continues weaving between bullets, striking back at the military while the others provide support from a distance. At last, the opposition begins to retreat, realizing they're hopelessly outmatched. With the way now clear, the group advances. The Tamagami is just ahead near Goma's palace. Meanwhile, in the Oparu district, an officer spots the group flying in and immediately sounds the alarm. Inside the palace, Degesu is skeptical as the evil third eye was lost ages ago, but Goma insists he's seen it before. It was once embedded in the forehead of Demon King Abura, and it looked exactly like the belt buckle. Degesu hesitates, wondering if maybe all eyes look similar, and questions why some random guy would have it. Goma, however, won't entertain doubts. He orders Degesu to retrieve the belt, no matter what, and warns him to keep the mission strictly under wraps. When Degesu questions how exactly he's supposed to accomplish that, Goma yells, he's smart, he'll figure it out. A flashback reveals the origins of the evil third eye, aka the Tertian Oculus, an artifact worn by past demon kings to grant them immense power. When a ruler required such strength, they would call upon the eye, granting them unbelievable magic and unworldly power. However, during King Abura's reign, the artifact was stolen and lost to history. Apparently, Dabura, in collusion with a bug-like demon, orchestrated a distraction to lure the guards away while the eye was stolen from its heavily secured vault. Once in the possession of the artifact, Dabura instructed the demon to take it to the third demon world, where it would be nearly impossible to locate. Handing over a key, he assured the demon he would contact him later. The plan seemed foolproof until everything went awry. As the bug demon made its escape, an alarm blared through the fortress. Pursued relentlessly, he barely managed to flee to the second demon world. But just as he thought he was safe, a creature appeared and sent him hurtling through an open tunnel straight into the third demon world. Though he landed with the eye intact, his luck ran out when a monstrous beast emerged and crushed him in an instant, sending the eye tumbling off a cliff. Before Dabura could get any updates, the beast also destroyed the communicator, severing all contact. With the eye lost to the abyss, the matter was dropped. Without the power of the third eye, Abura was overthrown by his son, Dabura. But even Dabura's reign was short-lived. Majin Buu eventually defeated him, and the throne ultimately passed down to Goma. Years later, by sheer coincidence, Hybis stumbled upon the third eye lying on the ground. Without realizing its significance, he casually affixed it to his belt buckle. Now, back in the present, Goku and the others arrive at the gates of Goma's palace, only to be met with a fresh wave of military police pouring in from all sides, weapons raised and ready. Gunfire erupts once more, igniting nearby bushes as Goku and his allies maneuver to avoid the flames. Goku glances over to Neva, asking if he could come up with an idea to help. Neva, however, declines, insisting that he's only here to assist with their wish. Everything else is up to them. Meanwhile, Hybis, in his own little world, is entirely distracted by a small rock when an alluring young demon woman suddenly approaches him. She gushes over his belt, offering him a kiss in exchange for it. Hybis isn't a fan of the idea, but proposes a different trade, her hat for his belt. She accepts the deal, though she's slightly offended by how effortlessly he brushed her off.
keep him
Back
to
in the thick
level
of
2.
battle, Piccolo assesses the situation and decides that, since he can
Can we jump him?
regenerate, he should charge in and take on the brunt of the attack. Goku thinks it's a solid plan, as the military will run out of ammunition eventually. However, Neva advises against it, warning that even with Piccolo's regeneration, a direct hit to a vital area could be fatal. Pansy then chimes in, pointing out that these guns likely have enough ammunition to fire continuously for 10 days straight. Elsewhere, Ku and Du sleep peacefully on a couch, unaware of the chaos. Watching them, Arinsu smirks. Everything is going according to plan. Goku, tired of waiting around, springs back into action alongside Piccolo and Vegeta. The three charge forward, swiftly dismantling enemy forces when, suddenly, a deafening crash echoes through the battlefield. Through the smoke, a massive fleet of giant laser tanks emerges, their cannons already charging up. Before anyone can react, they fire, unleashing a blast that tases and incapacitates Goku and the others, briefly stunning them. More cannons prepare to fire as the trio regain their footing, but just as one of them locks,
We'll see about that.
Can you hear me? Flying Nimbus! It's Trunks. I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots. You found a power key. Go slide.
Find the key in first box is always a good feeling. I have to get out of there.
Thanks.
I don't know if anyone's gonna plant that key, but I had to get out. I had to get out of there.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
You got a level 2.
Hey, great! You found another power key. Use it quick.
I need help. You're a big help.
We need everyone to get their level 2, and we gotta key rush them. Just make sure there's nothing here. We really should go start fighting right now. Let's take some damage off of him before he gets to level 3.
Flying Nimbus!
Little bit time left.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Oh man.
Somebody needs to find that B key quick.
Flying Nimbus.
Holy
I'm
hell.
just gonna. Josie, you better run.
Hey, great. You found another power key. Use it quick.
I should start looking for the Dragon Balls too. Sure, everyone has the balls. Does everyone have a ball?
Access the startup system from the central
I
area.
just need to organize.
Just a little more to go, then you're done.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Holy hell. Oh man.
This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. Come on!
Here you go.
Gotta get the hell out of here.
Welcome.
Thought I was a goner.
Freaking Vegeta's gloves.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm.
That last Dragon Ball.
Oh man. You gotta be.
You've got all 7 Dragon Balls. Summon Shenron at the altar.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if there's another soda over here.
I'm an android, you see.
This guy's chasing me.
Call me by my name.
He has some ankles.
You gotta be kidding me.
I guess it's up to me!
Right into that. Let's go. And that's how you do it, guys. Teamwork.
No one does this to me.
It's twice now we never leveled up. What's going on with this game? Second, guys.
Locks onto its target, something plummets from the sky, knocking the cannon off course. One by one, bombs begin raining down from above. It's King Kadan and his army, arriving just in time to provide backup. The king's forces destroy one of the tanks, but are quickly met with retaliatory fire. All seems lost, but down below, Kadan and his forces emerge from the smoke, ready to continue the fight. With their newfound allies, the tide of the battle shifts dramatically in their favor. The king and his troops charge in, with Goku and the others right behind them. Picking things up, Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan, unleashing an onslaught of devastating attacks, reducing the military's forces to mere rubble with massive explosions. Inside the palace, Goma stares at the monitor in horror. The Gesu stammers, grasping for any hope, muttering that they still have the military special force. Goku, catching his breath among the lull in the battle, grins at King Kadan and his warriors, noting how impressive they are. Now the question remains, what's next? Do they head straight for the Tamagami to secure the final Dragon Ball, or do they prioritize rescuing Dende first? After some quick deliberation, they agree that saving Dende takes precedence. Meanwhile, the Gesu sneaks into the room where baby Dende sleeps peacefully, swiftly scooping him up. The sudden movement startles the infant, who immediately begins to wail. As Goku and his group reach the gates, they find them firmly shut, and waiting for them on the other side is the military police special force, standing in formation and ready for battle. After making a dramatic entrance and casually munching on chips, they declare themselves prepared to fight. Nobody knows who they are though, not that Vegeta cares. Captain Kadem attempts to introduce himself, though Vegeta shuts him down. Meanwhile, Goku and Piccolo step back, allowing the Saiyan Prince to take on everyone by himself. Helia steps forward, attempting to provoke Vegeta, but he remains expressionless. A taser cannon fires in his direction, and with the smallest tilt of his head, Vegeta effortlessly avoids it. The blast circles back toward him, but he stands his ground until the last possible second, vanishing in an instant and reappearing in front of Helia, allowing the energy shot to strike him instead. Danima opens fire next, but his attacks are laughably ineffective. Mashim, resorting to both a knife and a gun, meets an even worse fate. Vegeta casually knocks him aside with a single blast. Watching in shock from the sidelines, Guy Moy starts to question whether these warriors really did defeat Majin Buu and the Tamagami. Before he can dwell on it, Captain Kadem jumps into the fight, swinging his blade at Vegeta. Every strike is expertly dodged before Vegeta delivers a powerful kick, sending the captain crashing back down. Desperate, Kadem decides it's time to use his special attack. He conjures a blazing fireball and hurls it at Vegeta, warning that the next one will be even stronger. Just as he's
Alright, we
about
got
to launch
another
another,
match. There's
Danima
no
attempts
rest.
to assist, only to
We're going.
accidentally hit Kadem's hand instead. The
Just starting
misfire
2 minutes.
disrupts his aim, causing the fireball to fall short of its intended target. Before long, the entire squad finds themselves tied up, and with no further obstacles in their way, the heroes press forward. Vegeta blasts the door open, while Goku, ever casual, accepts a bag of chips from the special force along the way. Inside, they find a towering statue of Goma. Meanwhile, the young demon woman from earlier wanders the palace, clutching the evil third eye in her hands. She attempts to seek out the military police to confirm where she should deliver it and claim her reward, but they're all too preoccupied running around in a panic to acknowledge her. Frustrated, she sets off to find someone else who can give her answers. Wanting to refrain from standing out too much in their search for Dende, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Shin split
Nah,
off
we
from the
jinxed
rest
it.
of the group
Spoke
and
too
proceed forward. Before long, Pansy follows them as Glorio watches. Up above, Degesu watches intently as he moves swiftly through a winding series of
Connection to the host
staircases
has
with
been
Dende
lost.
in tow. Goku and his team navigate the same twisting corridors below. Vegeta, irritated, tells Goku to stop stuffing his face and focus. Reluctantly, Goku swallows the rest of the chips in one gulp before placing 2 fingers on his forehead to sense
Barrier didn't
ki,
want to smoke.
only to realize that Dende is incredibly close. Without hesitation, the group leaps over the stairway in pursuit, while Pansy continues her approach from above. Degesu finally reaches what appears to be an aircraft hangar, fully prepared to make his escape with Dende. Just as he's about to board, Goku calls out to him. Degesu stops, and after commending the group for their efforts, he lifts his gun, pressing it against Dende. Shin immediately yells out, demanding his brother to stop this madness. Degesu then greets his brother, noting it's been over a millennia since they last saw each other. The tense standoff continues as Degesu lays out his ambitions. His goal? To become the ruler of the demon realm. Shin demands to know how he could justify such actions, but Degesu fires back. It's in a Glen's nature to strive for power. Degesu moves to escape, keeping his gun trained on Dende. Watching from his monitor, Goma seethes with rage at Degesu's betrayal. Seizing the moment, Pansy, in the room as well, makes a bold move to intervene. However, Degesu is faster, immediately redirecting his weapon toward her. Just then, Hibis's new, rather wobbly-looking hat flies across the room, striking Degesu square in the face and causing him to stumble. In the chaos, Dende is flung into the air. Pansy slides in and catches him just in time, while Piccolo capitalizes on the distraction, delivering a swift and decisive chop to Degesu, knocking him unconscious. Over in the distance, it turns out Glorio was the one who threw the hat. Dende, now safe, looks around at everyone and starts giggling. Goma, watching it all unfold, finds some amusement in Degesu getting what he deserves, but this is no time to be entertained. As he frantically runs around, the young demon woman enters, holding the belt with the third eye still attached. Goma, filled with excitement, grabs it from her. The woman casually reminds Goma that she still hasn't been paid for her work, and even lost the hat her ex-boyfriend gave her while getting the job done. Goma, too preoccupied to care, tells her to take whatever she wants from the other room. His focus is solely on the third eye. Meanwhile, Kadan's army takes Degesu into custody, hauling him away as the heroes watch on. With Dende safely secured, there's only one thing left to do: challenge the Tamagami, win the final Dragon Ball, and use it to return to their adult forms. Goku considers the possibility of dealing with Goma first, but Glorio advises against it. Goma isn't an opponent to take lightly. Becoming adults again should be their priority. Neva chimes in, pointing out that the first Demon World's Tamagami is just across the way. The group soon arrives at the Tamagami, who radiates an even stronger presence than the others before it. Vegeta, sizing it up, immediately questions who's fighting this time. Goku reminds Vegeta that he handled the last one, so now it's his turn. However, before the fight can begin, they notice something amiss. The Dragon Ball is missing. As everyone reacts in confusion, Glorio acts surprised along with them. The Tamagami calmly explains that its Dragon Ball has already been awarded to the victor. Right on cue, Dr. Arinsu enters, accompanied by the still sleepy Ku and Du. The first Dragon Ball is already in their possession. Meanwhile, back at the palace, Goma struggles to remove the third eye from the belt. He tries prying it out with a spoon, along with other tools, but it won't budge. Frustrated, he whips the belt around before heading off for a bathroom break, where inspiration strikes. Sure enough, a plunger does the trick on the first attempt, but just as quickly, the eye snaps right back into place. Undeterred, Goma continues his efforts, eventually yanking the eye free. Spotting the young demon woman as she prepares to leave, Goma calls her over. He orders her to press the eye against his forehead, though she initially refuses as it looks disgusting. To convince her, Goma offers 50,000 Dokuro.
We jinxed it.
She, however, counters with 100,000, and Goma begrudgingly agrees. The demon woman, disgusted, takes the third eye and forcefully smashes it against Goma's forehead. After a few attempts, the eye finally settles into place, and in an instant, a transformation overtakes Goma's body. As his form begins to shift, the demon woman bolts for the exit, and Goma, now larger, grows stronger than ever. Goku and the group find themselves face to face with Arinsu and her two Majin companions. As Arinsu begins introducing herself, Ku eagerly cuts in, prompting irritation from her as she continues, casually revealing that she's a Glin. Du, introducing himself and stating his love for chocolate cookies, rounds out the trio. Glorio observes the interaction, wondering to himself what all of this might mean. Bulma, meanwhile, notes aloud that Ku and Du resemble Majin Buu, while Goku's eyes land on the single Dragon Ball in their possession. Ku, chuckling, proudly explains that Du defeated the Tamagami to win it, though he himself lost. Goku raises an eyebrow, puzzled as to why Ku seems so pleased about his defeat. Shin steps forward to greet his sister, addressing her as Arinsu, which prompts her to warmly acknowledge little Nahare. Upon hearing why he's so small, she deduces that Goma must have used a wish to turn them into children, likely the reason they're now after the Dragon Balls. When Shin requests the Dragon Ball, Arinsu dismisses the request outright. She explains she has her own wish in mind, to become the Demon King. When Shin compares her ambitions to Degesu's failed plans, she scoffs, declaring that Degesu lacked vision. Unlike him, she dreams of reshaping the Demon Realm into a terrifying empire that the outside world will fear and submit to. Shin shakes his head, lamenting that such ambition and power could be used for peace instead. Arinsu, unimpressed, retorts that such an idea is revolting. Vegeta attempts to interject, only for Arinsu to dismiss him as a small, arrogant outsider. She then proposes a wager, a one-on-one showdown between her Majin and a member of Goku's group. The winner takes all 3 Dragon Balls. Piccolo, skeptical, points out that their side already has 2 Dragon Balls compared to Arinsu's 1, but she raises the stakes, threatening to destroy her Dragon Ball if they refuse. Goku, unfazed, accepts the challenge and volunteers to fight. Piccolo observes that Arinsu's team seems confident, but Goku is equally ready. Vegeta tries to insist on settling things with rock, paper, scissors to determine who fights, but Goku firmly reminds him that he just fought the Tamagami, so now it's his turn. Bulma steps in, siding with Goku, and tells Vegeta to stop complaining if he wants to act like an adult. Finally, Goku steps forward, eager to fight. Ku hands the Dragon Ball to Arinsu and follows Goku, but Arinsu's quick to clarify he's not the one fighting. Ku notes he's pretty strong, though pretty strong isn't enough for this bout. It's Du's turn. Before long, both Goku and Du glare at each other before their intense showdown. Goku strikes a battle-ready pose, while Du yells aloud and charges in. Goku skillfully dodges Du's flurry of punches and lands a few strikes of his own. However, Du's stretchy arms soon begin to push Goku back, forcing him to use the power pole. As Goku grows accustomed to Du's awkward fighting style, he pushes back his elastic attacks and halts one of his arms. However, Du manages to grab Goku from below and unleashes blasts from his mouth, forcing Goku to evade, wrap Du's arms, and spin him around like a whirlwind. The two combatants sprint along the edges of the battlefield before colliding once more, with Du catching Goku in his antenna. He slams Goku around, though he manages to break free and transforms into a Super Saiyan, landing a powerful punch on Du that shatters the ground beneath them. Recognizing Goku's power, Du responds with even fiercer attacks. The two exchange energy blasts and grapple fiercely as the others look on in awe, commenting on the strength of both fighters. Suddenly, a massive hand rises from the depths as Goku and Du continue their bout. It's Goma, the Demon King, interrupting the fight with a powerful blast of his own. As Goma lands before the group, the battle comes to an abrupt halt. Apologizing for the interruption, Goma explains that he was curious about the commotion. This marks Goku's first encounter with the imposing king. Arinsu and Neva both notice the third eye on Goma's forehead. Curious, Pansy questions what it is, prompting Neva to explain that whoever wields the eye gains immense power. Even he seems shaken by the sight. Glorio comments that the artifact was thought to be lost during Demon King Abora's reign, while Neva questions how it was found. Goma smirks, thanking them for the explanation, as it helps them fully grasp the threat he now poses. Bulma, noticing the resemblance to Hybis's belt buckle, wonders where that might be, though Hybis brushes off the observation, likely aware that this is the eye he gave away. Goku, ever direct, questions if Goma plans to fight them. Goma laughs, confirming that he does. He's eager to test his newfound power. Confidently, he prepares a special ring for the battle, conjuring a magical energy that rises into the sky, drawing together glowing stones and forming a floating arena supported by massive pillars. Without hesitation, Vegeta flies in to attack, but Goma effortlessly stops him mid-charge with a single flick of his finger. Despite his massive size, Goma moves with remarkable speed, landing a devastating punch that sends Vegeta flying. As their fight rages on, Goma inadvertently damages his own castle. He then uses his might to knock Vegeta away again. Unrelenting, Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan and renews his assault, but even with this increase in power, he proves no match for Goma. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Goku rallies the group, Piccolo, Shin, and Glorio to join him in attacking Goma simultaneously. Bulma, watching from a distance, remarks that it's uncharacteristic of Goku to suggest a group attack, prompting Neva to explain that their enemy is simply that overwhelming. Despite their combined efforts, including Goku as a Super Saiyan, Goma blocks and tanks every attack from the group and counters with punishing force. In the midst of the onslaught, Goku's pouch with the Medibugs falls from him unnoticed. Frustrated, Bulma calls on Arinsu and her Majin to help. After a brief moment of contemplation, Arinsu agrees and sends Ku and Du into the fray. Kadan and his army follow suit, with the commanding officer carrying Bulma to safety. At the same time, Neva slyly signals to Tamagami No. 1, who's been observing from a distance. Initially oblivious, the Tamagami now understands that he's being asked to fight as well. Back in the battle, Du restrains Goma with his stretchy arms, allowing the others to launch another round of attacks. However, Goma uses nearby debris to knock them all back before the blows can connect. He's caught off guard by an energy blast from Tamagami No. 1, but manages to deflect it at the last second using the power of the third eye. Goma escalates the fight as everyone gathers, shattering the ground and hurling chunks of land at his opponents. Even the most direct hits from Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta fail to phase him, though the ground shatters at the sheer force of the blows. Goma continues his dominance, knocking and blasting everyone away. Du wraps himself around Goma, creating an opening for Goku to land a powerful punch. But as the others close in, Goma counters with overwhelming force, scattering them once again. Desperate, Goku and his allies prepare their signature moves, charging up for a final assault. Goma, unfazed, conjures a barrier that nullifies their attacks entirely and responds with a flurry of blasts that injure everyone. Vegeta questions Goku about the revive bugs, but the bag is missing and he collapses. Before Goku can respond, Goma telekinetically freezes him in place and fires a colossal blast intended to finish him off. At the last moment, Tamagami No. 1 and Du intervene, holding the blast back, though not for long. Seizing the opportunity, Goku begins powering up further, his hair growing longer and lightning crackling around him. The blast eventually slams into him, but Goku tanks it effortlessly, revealing his transformation into Super Saiyan 3. The rest of the group, injured and catching their breath, watches in awe. Goma, unimpressed, remarks that Goku has tapped into more of his magic power, but Goku interrupts him with a devastating, stone-faced punch to the gut. Wasting no time, Goku unleashes a relentless barrage of physical and energy-based attacks, forcing Goma onto the defensive. Among the spectators, Du and Ku are particularly impressed. Ku suddenly gets an idea as Du and Tamagami No. 1 rejoin the fight. Goku and the others get knocked down, but Ku rushes in, shouting encouragement to Du as he tosses him a gigantic chocolate cookie. Ku insists that Du can power up too, inspiring Du to summon a tremendous surge of energy. As Goku continues his assault, Du pushes himself even further, transforming with Super Saiyan 3-like tentacles sprouting from his head. Now armed with their enhanced power, Goku, Du, and Tamagami No. 1 launch a coordinated attack on Goma. For a while, the battle seems to turn in their favor. However, Du's newfound power quickly fades, leaving him exhausted and reverting to his normal form. With Du sidelined, it's down to Goku and Tamagami No. 1 to hold the line. But Goma's strength, bolstered by the third eye, proves overwhelming. He unleashes a powerful beam from the third eye that knocks Goku and the Tamagami away. Capitalizing, Goma hurriedly stomps jumps on Goku and counters with a series of powerful punches and kicks, eventually knocking him to the ground. Goku has a hard time standing and collapses, prompting Goma to blast him to keep him grounded. Towering over Goku with everyone watching helplessly, Goma prepares to finish the job and charges an enormous energy blast, holding it overhead with one hand. Goku, staring up in shock, braces himself. But before Goma can strike, Neva suddenly appears in front of Goku, channeling a small pulse of blue energy into him. As the energy surges through his body, Goku is enveloped in a rippling, dreamlike vision. His hair turns red, fur begins to grow across his body, and even his tail reappears as he taps into his new power. Goma hurls the massive energy blast at Goku, but Goku, fully restored, effortlessly redirects it back, forcing Goma to dodge. Now transformed, with a muscular yet fur-covered body still scaled to his childlike size, Goku reveals his new form. He immediately rushes at Goma, the two clashing as the latter throws a punch that Goku stops with one hand. The clash intensifies as Goku throws Goma away, eventually following up with a blow that leaves the demon reeling. However, Goma's third eye resonates with a burst of power, allowing him to recover and counter with equal force. Using his smaller frame to his advantage, Goku continues his assault, dodging and maneuvering around Goma until the two fire a barrage of ki blasts. Using the terrain, Goma launches debris at Goku, who skillfully runs and slides along them to reach his target. Eventually, Goku launches a direct energy blast to Goma's face, triggering a massive explosion. Although Goma tanks the attack, the fight now appears far less one-sided. As Glorio, Do, and the others start to rejoin the fray, Vegeta seems to be the only one who can't move. Goku and Goma continue their battle, with Goku's allies following suit. They launch a barrage of energy blasts, but none seem to land with much effect. Goku shifts tactics, returning to a physical assault that finally forces Goma back. They continue in spectacular fashion until Goku unleashes a dual-handed energy attack that blasts Goma away. Goma rushes back in, but seizing the moment, Goku powers up further as Glorio and Piccolo ready their signature attacks. Glorio summons a lightning-based strike, while Piccolo charges his special beam cannon. The combined assault clashes with Goma's own energy blast, resulting in an explosive stalemate. Undeterred, Goku begins charging a Kamehameha, only managing to utter the first two letters before Goma lands a brutal punch square to his face, sending him hurtling into the distance. Regaining control mid-air, Goku resumes charging the attack, twisting around and firing the fully formed Kamehameha directly at Goma. Goku gives his all to the attack, a swirling inferno wrapping around the Kamehameha before detonating in a brilliant burst. As the dust clears, Goku lands on the ground, peering down at the massive crater left behind. The group stands in silence, their eyes fixed on the destruction. Suddenly, the third eye adapts, and a strange purple energy begins to emanate from the crater, spreading across the entire battlefield. From within the swirling energy, a gigantic hand emerges, followed by an even larger Goma lifting himself out of the rubble. Despite his colossal size, Goma remains both strong and fast, easily overwhelming Goku with a punch and sealing him with the power of the evil third eye. Under the relentless pressure, Goku is forced to drop down to Super Saiyan 3, and then even further back to Super Saiyan. Meanwhile, Glorio receives a call on his communicator. It's Arinsu, summoning him to bring her the other two Dragon Balls. Goku collapses to the ground, freed but powerless in his base form as Glorio turns to Hybis, urging him to hand over the Dragon Balls for safety. Taking the Dragon Balls, Glorio walks them over to Arinsu, who reveals her true intentions. She plans to use the Dragon Balls to wish herself into the new Demon King, wielding power great enough to defeat Goma. She commands Glorio to summon the dragon, reminding him why she had him learn the Namekian language. Glorio, however, seems conflicted, reflecting on the journey so far, the friends he's made, the battles they've fought, and the strength they've shown. As he places the Dragon Balls together, he finally speaks the summoning phrase. The Dragon Balls erupt in a brilliant flash of light, and a massive, red dragon resembling Porunga from planet Namek appears in the sky. The sight leaves everyone stunned, including Glorio, who now stands accused of betraying his friends by helping Arinsu. The dragon's booming voice echoes across the battlefield, asking for the wish. Before Arinsu can act, Goma charges at the dragon to land a punch, only to be effortlessly flicked away like an insect. Arinsu turns to Glorio, demanding that he state her wish. Glorio hesitates, struggling internally, but eventually speaks the words and grants a wish. The dragon's eyes glow, and swirling energy begins to envelop him as everyone wonders what will happen next. The Demon Realm dragon has fulfilled Glorio's wish, which Arinsu confidently expects will empower her to become the new Demon King. Instead, a glow envelops Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, and the others, reverting each of them to their original adult forms. Dende is the last to change back, suddenly growing to normal size right in Pansy's arms. Goku enthusiastically thanks Glorio, though once again getting his name completely wrong. Meanwhile, Arinsu stands stunned as the dragon bids farewell, causing the 3 Demon World Dragon Balls to ascend into the sky and scatter. Goma chuckles smugly, unfazed by the group's transformation, declaring that even as adults, none of them pose any real threat to him. Vegeta quickly fires back, warning Goma against underestimating them. Goku proposes they now fight one at a time, given their return to normal, which Vegeta immediately interprets as his turn to step in. The two Saiyans cross paths mid-air, with Vegeta loudly insisting that no one else interfere. Vegeta and Goma face off intensely for a brief moment before Vegeta charges straight in, reigniting their battle. Their exchange of blows and blocks instantly impresses King Kadon and his followers, astonished by the overwhelming strength Vegeta possesses in his adult form. Nearby, Glorio apologetically approaches Arinsu, who sharply reminds him of the kindness she showed him in rescuing him from the 3rd Demon World. Glorio acknowledges his gratitude, but before he can say more, Arinsu interrupts, coldly informing him he's fired. Glorio quietly thanks her once again before swiftly turning to join his Earthling friends. Ku, noticing this, smirks and reassures Arinsu that he's not going anywhere. He's sticking by her side. Vegeta deftly evades Goma's incoming blasts, quickly regaining comfort in his fully grown body. Renewing his offense, he delivers a powerful blast straight to Goma's stomach. Goma attempts to trap Vegeta between his enormous palms, but Vegeta effortlessly transforms into a Super Saiyan, breaking free and continues the fight. Approaching Goma, Vegeta escalates further, ascending to Super Saiyan 3 mid-air in a violent burst of energy. Locking eyes with Goma briefly, Vegeta unleashes another precise blow to the Demon King's stomach, followed by a relentless attack sequence reminiscent of his earlier bout with Tamagami No. 2. He concludes the barrage with a mighty overhead kick, sending Goma crashing to the ground. Yet, the resonating 3rd eye continues to sustain Goma, astonishing Goku and the others watching from below. Glorio hesitantly moves toward the group, uncertain about how they'll react after his apparent betrayal. However, Pansy eagerly rushes up to him with a warm smile, grabbing his hands and pulling him back into their midst. Shin sincerely thanks Glorio for his bravery, and even Neva offers him a friendly wink. At last, Goku manages to get Glorio's name right, much to Glorio's relief, before shifting his focus back to the intense fight. Despite Vegeta's relentless attacks, including knocking Goma through the structures he previously created, the Demon King repeatedly rises again and again. In response, Vegeta charges a massive final flash in his palms, launching it upward at Goma, who counters with his own powerful energy wave. The two attacks clash dramatically, but Vegeta ultimately overpowers Goma, driving him upward through the clouds. Exhausted from expending so much energy, Vegeta struggles to regain his composure, only to see Goma calmly descend, arms crossed and seemingly unharmed. Suddenly, Goma reappears directly behind Vegeta, landing a powerful punch that sends him hurtling back up through the very crater his own blast had created. As Vegeta and Goma's fierce battle rages on, Goku notes from the sidelines that Vegeta can't hold Super Saiyan 3 much longer, while Goma doesn't even show a hint of fatigue. Piccolo speculates this endurance must come from the evil 3rd eye, realizing that despite returning to their adult forms, they still carry all the injuries and exhaustion accumulated from earlier. Watching the struggle unfold, Arinsu suddenly recalls that Demon King Abura used to attach and remove the 3rd eye at will. But how exactly did he manage it? Acting quickly, she orders Ku to retrieve the Book of Magic items from archive number 37, prompting him to fly off immediately. Meanwhile, a thoroughly drained Vegeta is giving his all in his blows, though he isn't making any progress. He's grabbed and brutally pummeled by Goma, his golden hair flickering erratically before finally returning to its normal form and color. Goku urgently offers to take Vegeta's place, but the Saiyan Prince stubbornly refuses to yield. On the sidelines, Goku and Piccolo continue discussing their options, reiterating their observation that Goma's stamina seems limitless, making their attacks practically useless. Piccolo remarks that even if Goku joins, it likely wouldn't change much. Ku swiftly returns, carrying a massive book to Arinsu, who magically opens it and begins flipping pages at a painfully slow pace. Ku impatiently offers his assistance, licking his finger and rapidly flipping through pages until finally discovering what they're looking for. Arinsu, Ku, and Du then appear atop a cliff overlooking Glorio and the others, calling down to explain what they've learned. The third eye can be forcibly removed if Goma is struck in the back of the head 3 times consecutively. Shin gratefully thanks Arinsu, though she dismisses his gratitude, clarifying that she simply wants Goma defeated. With this newfound information, Goku and Piccolo quickly strategize. They agree Goma won't easily give them a chance for such precise strikes. Goku admits he doesn't have much stamina left, but he's still better off than Vegeta, so he'll jump in to engage Goma directly while Piccolo waits for an opening to attack the back of Goma's head. Shin interjects, noting Vegeta would rather die than let someone else take over. Bulma then confidently steps forward, volunteering to handle this delicate situation herself. Taking a deep breath, she yells up to Vegeta, bluntly stating that if he doesn't let the others fight immediately, she'll never take a bath with him again. Vegeta pauses mid-battle, stunned, before immediately rocketing down to the ground, grudgingly agreeing to stand aside. The others watch silently with awkward expressions on their faces. With the stakes clear, Goku declares they'll have only one shot since Goma will be vigilant if he suspects their strategy. Goku flies upward and circles around Goma casually, stretching to loosen up. Goma arrogantly remarks that it doesn't matter who fights. He even taunts them all to attack simultaneously. Internally, Goku knows he has little time and needs to finish this quickly. With a confident smirk, he instructs Goma to pay attention as he bends slightly forward, quickly transforming into a Super Saiyan and announcing the form out loud. Immediately afterward, Goku powers up further, ascending effortlessly to Super Saiyan 2, again verbally identifying. Finally, Goku intensifies his effort, energy crackling violently around the entire area as his hair grows dramatically. The battlefield crumbles with the weight of his brilliant energy, and when the dust settles, Goku stands as a fully realized Super Saiyan 3, again naming the transformation aloud. Goma dismisses these forms as meaningless theatrics, though Kadan and his forces marvel at them, Hybis humorously comparing them to Majin. As Goma confidently poses, ready to fight, Goku informs him that he still has one more transformation left. He powers up immediately and tosses off his shirt as he continues, lightning violently illuminating the battlefield, so intensely that Tamagami number 2 and 3 sense it from their own distinct positions in the demon realm. A red-haired, monkey-like form of Goku emerges triumphantly from the smoke, gripping a rock as he stands upright, fists clenched, and confidently smiling at Goma as he prepares for the final battle. The two warriors collide in a fierce, blistering exchange, their battle shaking the battlefield as the others look on in amazement. Though Goku gradually appears to be gaining the upper hand, the relentless power of the evil third eye continuously heals Goma's injuries, keeping him in the fight. The clash rages on the battlefield, neither side letting up, with Goma using his magic staff to put Goku on the defensive. The two continue on equal footing and Goku powers up, putting Goma into a hold and following up with a devastating gut punch. Goma, however, heals again as Goku stands before him, drained of energy, but ready to continue. The battle escalates as Goku relentlessly pushes Goma back, only to be suddenly flung into a strange, shadowy space beneath the battlefield, where he's pursued by a barrage of energy blasts. However, Goku shatters through the void and rockets back into the fight, unleashing a devastating flurry of attacks that sends the Demon King hurtling across the battlefield. Once again, Goku dominates the exchange, driving Goma into the ground with overwhelming force. Yet, just as before, the evil Third Eye restores Goma's injuries, bringing him back to full strength. Undeterred, Goku responds by unleashing an immense surge of power, his aura erupting so violently that it shakes the entire demon realm itself. The sheer magnitude of his energy leaves Goma momentarily stunned. As the dust settles, Goku stands tall, his eyes locked onto Goma with an unwavering glare. Without hesitation, he begins charging his signature attack, the Kamehameha, ready to bring the fight to its climactic finish. In response, Goma summons a powerful attack of his own. With both warriors at their peak, they unleash their attacks simultaneously. Goku's Kamehameha proves superior, tearing straight through Goma's midsection and surging into the sky, where it tunnels through both the first and second demon worlds. The impact disrupts the barrier between realms, causing the oceans of the second demon world to spill into the first. Seeing an opportunity, Piccolo charges toward Goma's exposed back, determined to strike 3 consecutive blows to dislodge the Third Eye. He lands 2 successful hits, but before he can finish, Goma retaliates with a brutal backhand, sending Piccolo flying. As the evil Third Eye once again begins restoring Goma's injuries, the others rush in, desperately trying to stop the process before it's too late. But they're seconds too slow. The damage starts reversing, and the hole in Goma's chest starts shrinking rapidly. Just when it seems they've lost their only hope and Goma's power grows, Majin Ku, clutching the Book of Magic items, is pulled into the battlefield by a surge of energy. Seizing the moment, he lands 3 swift consecutive strikes to the back of Goma's head. The Third Eye loosens, falling to the ground, and Goma's power quickly fades. Gloria wastes no time and stomps on the eye, shattering it under his foot. With the eye destroyed, Goma returns to his normal state, and with that, the battle is over. A wave of relief washes over everyone as they celebrate their hard-fought victory. Soon after, Goma, now restrained, is confronted by Arinsu, who arrives alongside Marba, carrying a mystical seal meant to imprison the now ex-Demon King for the next 100 years. However, before the sentence is carried out, Piccolo speaks up, reminding everyone that, despite everything, Goma never actually tried to kill Dende. Considering this, Piccolo suggests reducing the sentence to 99 years instead. To ensure he doesn't serve his time alone, Degesu, who has his own share of misdeeds, is sentenced to confinement alongside Goma. With Goma and Degesu out of the way, the question arises, who should take the throne as the next Supreme Demon King? Shin suggests that Arinsu should claim the title, as she ranks the highest and had initially sought the position. However, Arinsu declines, admitting that her lack of magical prowess would eventually lead to her being overthrown.
Alright guys,
Neva then speaks
end
up,
the stream now.
proposing that the one who defeated the
go
Supreme
have me
Demon
some
King
lunch.
should be the next in line.
And,
By
got some stuff to
technicality,
do it,
that makes
and then I'll
Majin
be
Ku
streaming again
the
later tonight.
rightful successor.
So,
Overjoyed,
give the video a
Ku
thumbs up,
happily accepts the
subscribe,
role,
and I'll see
donning
you
the
guys later tonight.
ceremonial white cape of the
Thank you for
Demon
watching.
King. His first act as
Peace.
ruler is to appoint Arinsu as his vice Supreme King. He then selects Majin Du